dungeons
tragedy.
and Dargons.
That's what we're discovering.
What?
Betrayal and tragedy.
Betrayal and tragedy, he says.
My hit new single.
Rain is falling down upon you as you stand just outside the fallen Eos Lore Foundation tower. Before you is the cipher truck, covered in some sort of strange webbing and having been recently tampered with by a spider that was chased off by Fox and his new ally Shadow Walker, in addition to Zothkug and his handy crossbow. Each of you has a clue about what you've discovered upon inspection of the cipher truck, except for Owlin, who has the clues he discovered when he searched through Makar Pedrin's quarters in the barracks. So you may discuss as you like. The scene around you, as I said, is rainy. The ground is starting to get muddy. And again, the cart is wheels deep in this ground that is starting to get muddier and muddier. So we've got to find a way to get the cart out. Garlel is standing near you, but again, he's too weak to use any of his avatar powers or anything. He's mostly just walking and talking. Those are kind of his current capacity.
Hey guys, there's scratch marks on the front door where the spider was.
Yeah, they kind of scratched at the door. That tends to happen when things scratch. They leave scratch marks.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Well, thank you for your observation, Zoth. I'm not feeling so good. We're gonna have to probably wait this one out. I mean,
we should at least move a little bit.
Jeb, are you okay?
Fox, come here for a second. Owlin, is this what I think it is?
Owlin is standing just right outside the door that he exited out of, holding a letter and shielding it from the rain, with his body, he's holding it in a direction where the rain is hitting his body and not the letter. And because of that, he's kind of hunched over and you can't really see his face, but he's just standing still.
Fox, is this Jeb points to the back door of the cipher truck that he's been kind of investigating, and it looks like there is meat gristle pushed into the cracks of the back door of the cipher truck. Is that did that get pushed in, or is that coming out?
I don't want to know now. Yeah, we should.
Heck?
I mean, all right, listen. I said we should wait it out because of the weapon, but we should just take advantage of this and just wash everything.
Rather wait it out in the truck. Yeah.
Well, there were people here. They went away presumably to get help, so we should probably at least move it a little bit.
I agree. I believe that staying near this area will put us in further harm's way. I don't think we need to travel a long distance, you don't need to go straight to the Cavorite Dragons where we're, hoping to take me. But I do believe it would be unwise to stay here right at the foot of the tower where everyone knows we're located.
And that's true,
The road leading south towards Fladena has many prairie grasses growing to the north side of it, and perhaps we could go a little ways down and simply hide your cart in those tall prairie grasses in order to take some rest.
I'm going to use prestidigitation.
Okay.
And one of the effects that I can do with it is to either soil or clean an object. I would like to use it to clean this meat gristle off the back. If that's insignificant enough to just be cleaned off.
You are able to clean the physical meat gristle off of the back of it, but the smell of it is way too strong for just a cantrip to do. So you can make it so there's no, you're not nauseous around it, but it smells like someone left leftovers in your car for a day before they, went away. Basically, it's just kind of a constant, background smell.
Alan? Are you okay?
It sounds like Owlin's he was hoarse last episode. He wore his voice out, but his voice is coming back, and it was Makar.
Wait, what?
Makar... He stole the rod. He... I can't believe this.
Let's just
I
try
don't
to
like.
get
Well,
this truck
I mean-
moved, and we can sit down and think about this in a second.
I just can't. It's quite possible that he was under the influence of the aboleth. I just don't understand whether that it must have been. It must have been mind control. It's the only possible explanation.
And I'm sure
must
it
have
is.
I mean, they've
sure
been
it is,
scheming
Alan.
for a long time. That's very reasonable.
Perhaps-
I
perhaps
wouldn't take it
between-
against him.
Perhaps between his studies, it must have happened. He must have come in contact with the aboleth, and that must be it. And Alan like pockets this paper that he was holding, and just kind of goes into like, yes, that's what it was. That must have been. And he turns like, okay, all right.
We must hope that
What
that
do we
is
need
the
to do?
case, because I threw the Book of Exalted Deeds to Makar as the tower fell, though he did not know what it was at the time, and perhaps my disguise has held. And yet, at the moment, I agree with your roguish one. I feel that the most immediate concern of ours is to get away from this place before reinforcements come. The rain will provide somewhat limited visibility for anyone riding in from the distance, but it has been one day since, it's been a full night, I should say, since you have freed me, and I feel we cannot have more than a day before they reach this place again.
Yes. That makes sense. We'll discuss more on the way.
Everyone push.
Does that seem to be the best course of action? Pushing.
The webbing's going to take a little bit to... I mean, we can't really cut through this. It'll dissolve with the water, and it's raining and all, but... But the more it rains, the muddier it gets. Which kind of...
Does mold earthwork, Jib?
I can try that. Can I use mold earth to try to turn this difficult terrain into undifficult terrain?
The cart is...
If this will...
Go ahead.
If this will sweeten the deal a little bit, I also have shape water, so I could like extract the water from the dirt, and kind of like work it hand in hand, like pull water out and then just kind of smooth it out.
That's super creative. I bet you could make a ramp that way. I was thinking the cart is longer than your 5 square feet or your 5 cubic feet would cover, but you could make the space in front of the cart that way, and then it would just be a strength check to get it out of the mud it's stuck in, and then you could push it up the ramp that you've made.
Let's do that.
While Jeb is like getting that like part of it ready, like before the time to push, Alan will go back and investigate the smelly part of the cart, and he'll open his pack and pull out a shirt that he has, but no one has ever seen him wear. Like, he possesses it, but it has not been ever worn. Like, it looks brand new. And is there a spot like on the back, like near the back, to like tie it to the cart somehow? Like, is that pretty doable? Like, it's just cloth.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna tie it, and then he's gonna pull out his artisan's tools and like mess with it a little bit, and then from that it's gonna start emitting like an air freshener odor. It smells like pleasant, like daisies, like lilies, like flowers. And his goal with it's through my magical tinkering, I can make a small object emit an odor.
So this is like within the cart, basically, to like purify the air a little bit for you while you're in there.
It's just like, it's to hopefully cover up the smell. Like, that's the
Sure.
goal of it. But yeah, it's just like, it's like a little air freshener.
I'm sure this
tied to
was
the cart.
already your intention, but in case there's that viewer or listener in the podcast who tries to get nitpicky with us, we're going to assume that Jeb has now turned the rod back on because there's no danger. He did
Yes.
canonically switch it off in the storage room.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'll stay
assuming
on
it's
top of
turned
that,
back
yes.
on, and I'm not trying to gotcha
No,
with
you're
it. I
good.
just know there's always that one guy in D&D. You know what I
Sure,
mean? There's
sure.
always that one guy.
Well, I just cast spells too, so he would have had
Yeah.
to have had it on.
So
But yes, I'll try to stay on top of that.
okay,
For
so
future reference,
inside it does smell better now.
Yay!
Yes, Matt.
I'm just gonna go ahead and skip what I was gonna say, and instead pull up water and try to really rub off the thick parts of the spider webbing around the wheels and such.
You are
I
able
will
to do
also-
so. But remember, in order to do that, we first need to push the cart out of its area. Now, you're eventually going to succeed at this. So this strength check is not to determine whether you succeed or fail. This collective strength check, you're all going to roll one. Everybody who rolls above a 10 successfully helps. Everybody who rolls below a 10 costs another hour. For every hour it takes, we're going to add a die to the tension pool. So you start at 1 hour to like push it out. Jeb does his magic. We get the thing up there. But then anyone who rolls below a 10 on their strength check is going to add basically another hour and therefore another die to the tension pool.
And it's a check, not a saving throw or
Yes,
anything like that?
it is a check.
I got a 11.
Nice.
I also got an 11.
Nice.
I got a 17.
Let's go.
I got an 18.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
All right. Four Guys Ventures and Vibes are not about to sit out here in the rain. Y'all put your backs
No.
into it, and
Exactly.
you have that thing pushed up in no time. So you get it to the top. Fox is able, in that same hour, Fox is able to scrub the webbing off the sides. Owlin gets his little artifice set up on the inside of it. And just as you're about to embark on your way, you hear from behind you a great shriek, somewhere between the shriek of an eagle and the shriek of a dragon, somewhere in the middle of those two things. And looking up, the rain is suddenly obscured for just a brief moment as something huge and winged flies overhead. It swirls around, and as it slows and begins making this rotation to come back towards you, you are able to see it is a dragon-looking thing, but it's not quite as intimidating. It's like the way that a husky looks compared to a wolf. It's like that for a dragon. It's not the whole way domesticated. It's still got claws. It still has like the sharp beak and the horns coming out of its head, but it doesn't have the armored underbelly. It's not covered in scales. It seems more like reptilian skin, like a leather type material. And as it swoops in to land near you, you can see it has a kerchief tied around its neck. And when it finally lands with a great thud and spraying of mud as it skids to a stop in front of you, you see the Four Guys Ventures and Vibes logo on
Yo!
this kerchief. And it comes to a stop, and it lowers its head, and clutched in its mouth in a scroll case to protect it from both the rain and obviously the beast, there is a letter. And on the outside of the letter, again, is the Four Guys Ventures and Vibes logo, and a single leaf has been tied to the outside of it.
Zoth will take the letter and give the dragon a pat.
Okay, so you give this is technically called a dragonelle. You give the dragonelle a pat, and you
Yes.
open up the scroll case, and you pull out the letter, and you see that indeed this is a letter from the Myconid regarding the progress of Four Guys Ventures and Vibes.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Progress
it's
is moving
sending
steadily.
letters
The
and
paperwork
stuff.
and logistics are now all taken care of, and we are fully incorporated in Gaim. Marcy is preparing to launch a campaign against the slander we seem to be suffering everywhere, but we do need more funds for that. In the hopes that you've found some items of high value that we may begin selling, I have sent Lucia here to collect them from you. She understands you and speaks Common and Draconic, or understands Common and Draconic, but she is not intelligent enough to reply. Just give her a few days' worth of food and she will be happy to help. Jeffrey asks me to inform you that the company coffers currently sit at 250 wingle digits, which you may draw from any Summit Banking Guild branch if you choose. He would like your permission, once we begin selling artifacts, to travel to Stainless and invest some of the company funds in hopes of stretching our resources further. We will be able to maintain this 250 wingle digit balance by doing odd jobs around Gaim, but Zal and Randy McHale are losing morale because they are unable to do their jobs well. Timmy and Tommy are performing well in onboarding, and we hope to be able to send them to their first dungeon soon. We are slowly building up a map of features of interest near Gaim to explore. Hopefully by the time your travels bring you here, we will have plenty for you to do. Wishing you well, Myconid.
We have anything we want to sell?
I mean, that's the hard part about dungeon delving, isn't it? After
It
getting all
is.
this cool stuff, you have to get rid of it if you want to make a living.
This is true. I personally feel I could part with either my rope of entanglement or dust of dryness, perhaps both. I would like to keep my bracers of defense and scimitar of speed, however.
I don't want to speak for anybody else's items, but while those dimensional shackles are cool, I don't think that we're probably going to need them in the
No,
near future. But
you're right. I'll dig
that's
them
not-
out.
How important is us understanding other people?
Well, one could argue, in a philosophical way, it is the most important thing. However, I do believe that practically that item may be lower on the list of usefulness for us, or at least our particular work.
I mean, I know a little Orcish, and I can speak the trader language.
Chat wishes to suggest that dimensional shackles are necessary if you want to kill an aboleth.
I mean,
If
teleport though.
if the process to kill an aboleth is as complex or necessarily complex as Garlel suggests, I don't know if the dimensional shackles necessarily will be an aid in that.
Plus, getting
that
close
may a
enough
simple-
to put them on an aboleth.
Exactly. That may be too simple of a solution. Versus
But now I'm
You have
thinking.
to put it on their whiskers.
Alan will take out his rope of entanglement and dust of dryness and give it to the Dragonelle.
The Dragonelle
So-
takes them and tucks them very gently in what you see now as a large pouch that is the same color as its reptilian skin that's kind of slung along its back where a saddle might go. It kind of like spins around and tucks them away.
Guys,
Guess-
I have something else here, and maybe if we think that those dimensional shackles probably would do good, I've got these iron bands that, like, you throw them at the person, they capture them and stuff.
Those are useful, though.
Like, would we rather have the dimensional shackles?
They do fill a similar function.
That's true. Probably the dimensional shackles are better.
Yes, I agree.
I will take off my helm of comprehend languages and give it to Lucille.
I guess I can give up my old enchanted rapier.
Yeah, I mean, you got a cool new sword that doesn't need to be enchanted.
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So I'll add that to the pouch.
significant upgrade.
Yes, you do, Shadow Walker. Yes, you do. Don't worry. I'll never get rid of you.
And
Alan
then-
gives you a side eye. I don't think Alan was present for any of that talking to the sword stuff, so he just like looks at you like,
So
Also, is,
meteor sword.
is it daytime or nighttime, Josh?
It is daytime, morning.
Okay. So my color is officially visible.
That's
now.
right. Yeah, in the rain, as you kind of turn around, you finally notice for the first time that Zothkog is green.
Oh,
what?
Zoth,
Yeah, man.
you're back to your au natural shade and
What?
hue,
What?
my guy.
Wait.
Oh, would you look at that? When did that happen?
I wonder if
Did
the
it wear
rain just
off?
washed it off.
Jeb?
What, did it literally just need you to take a bath? Was like that the thing that undid it?
No, we've been in water since it happened.
I'm gonna be honest, Jeb. If you hadn't said anything, I would have never noticed. I just it 100% flew over my head until you just said something.
Lucille reaches her head down kind of into the middle of your huddle and like kind of nudges one more time like she's checking if there's anything else to give her,
Oh.
and also kind of like sniffs at one of your rations.
Oh,
Right. Okay.
Alan will give her a ration if she's like,
So
it seems
we'll
like she's hungry.
give her a ration too.
Jeb, do you think this bracelet is something we need? It's like got like a weird whirly thing on it. It like kind of like loops in on itself, but like twists.
Is that a magic something that we haven't checked out yet? Because I have a couple things actually that I haven't checked out yet that we might.
It
Like,
says
if
it's
Lucille's cool with hanging here for an hour or so, I could. But that's gonna take more time.
etched on it. It says bracelet, something Mobius.
We could just put it in and see if they can sell it.
May
Well-
I examine the bracelet?
Sure.
What should Alan roll to try to identify what it is?
I'm just pulling up my list of what those things were here, and
Okay.
then I will figure that out because we're jumping back 2 sessions in my notes.
Ooh.
It does, Fox, I'm assuming you did not take the sticky note off the side of that one, right?
No.
Okay. So let's...
I wouldn't have paid
Like
attention
sticky notes
to it,
on your
though.
magic items.
Okay, so it has a mark on it, Alan, that says, Demetrius, I've done everything I can, but it still only works as expected about 70% of the time. Be very careful with this. Gods know where you even found such a device, but space-time is not to be tampered with lightly.
I just want you to know,
Do I know Demetrius?
Your eyes kind of lit up.
Demetrius is one of the lecturers in the Eos Lore Foundation and has a particular fascination with stuff that messes with space-time. Like, he's all about his, his teleportation and his portals and his, ethereal plane, all that kind of stuff. He's really into it.
Alan will look at it, and his eyes will light up a little bit like, this belonged to one of my professors, Demetrius. He had a fascination with teleportation and time travel, and it seems as though, and Alan's kind of like picking it up and looking at it and stuff, but being very gentle with it, it seems as though this must be some sort of device to do with that. According to the note stuck to it, it seems as though it's not exactly a very reliable device, probably a work in progress, or something discovered and possibly slightly modified by Demetrius. He was probably trying to perfect it.
As you turn it around and kind of study it from different angles, you see several runes, like arcane marks, on the inside. Well, it only has one side. It's a Mobius strip.
Yeah,
But, along one side of the Mobius strip, I should say, that they are clearly in Demetrius's handwriting. And also, you recognize the rune for attunement, like it requires to be attuned to. And you recognize some of the other runes as being high power ones, but you don't remember what they meant. Like, they were in some of your upper level lectures where everything was really heady. And so you're like, oh, these ones are important, but I don't quite remember what it does. I think this one might be for invincibility or invisibility. Might be for invisibility. Let me screw that up.
This may have something to do with invisibility. It would require attunement, it seems, but it definitely seems as though Demetrius likely found this and then modified it.
I should
make a lot of
probably
money from it.
hold on to that.
I wouldn't.
You just, probably look into it a little deeper. You probably don't want to sell it without knowing what it does fully,
Yeah.
For once, I actually
I agree with that.
completely agree. It is also something that I don't think would actually be found high value at the market right now, because it's just kind of a doodad or a trinket to probably most people. However, I think if we were able to discover its power, which I think we would be able to, I think it could fetch a higher price if we later decided to sell it, or if we decided to use it for our own purposes.
I'll just put it back in my pack here. Yes?
Fox, if you don't mind, I mean, I don't want to take it away from you or anything like that, but space-time is kind of my wheelhouse, so I wouldn't mind investigating that a bit more if you wanted some more information on it.
I guess you prove a good point. Jeff. All right, fine.
All right.
You can,
Is that
you
everything?
can look into it.
Lucille?
I'm sorry. Let me keep digging through here.
Garlel is scratching Lucille under the chin and like murmuring Draconic into her ear, and Lucille's wings like flutter happily, like, oh, this feels good,
I'm gonna also write a letter back to you while they're still looking through inventory.
Okay.
Do we need any like these coins of like, I think you're supposed to like throw them and they show how deep something is, according to the note I found attached with them.
Those could be sent back not to sell, but to actually be dungeoneering supplies for the company.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe we kind of overstocked the truck a little bit.
And you know what?
Also, don't want anyone to end up in the mile fall situation without.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, I was about to say we've been through that, so I feel like this is kind of like we don't need this. You know?
We don't need it, but other people might.
I think that sending that back with the intention of it being a supply for our dungeoneers could be very helpful.
Hey, well, why are you writing over there, Zoth? Write that that's what the purpose of these are.
Of course.
Put those in the pack
I'm gonna
along
walk
with the
up.
Dragonelle there as well.
I'm going to walk up to Lucille, and I'm going to reach into my pack and pull out a little book. The DM mentioned this offhandedly, and so I really want this to become a thing.
Yep. I know exactly
But I'm
what
going
this
to
book is.
I'm going to slide it into a little compartment and say I don't know if this is going to be worth anything, but I really hope so. And I'm going to put the book that is 1001 Ways to Make Beans Taste Good.
Is that for sale or for
into
keeping?
the book. For keeping.
Okay.
I'm gonna like I don't have any loose paper with me because that's kind of valuable as a wizard. So I'm just gonna flip open the front and like on the inside of the cover, right? Zal, I think that there is some business opportunity in the Dwarven Kingdom and selling beans in various tasty ways. Let me know what you think.
4 guys, ventures and vibes. We also sell beans.
Dungeon delving and a side of beans.
What if your slogan was just "We also sell beans"?
We also sell beans.
It's just the plus beans. 4 guys, adventures and vibe plus beans.
You walk up to the office, right? and
It's
you're
like a
just
Target
yeah,
Super Center, like a 4 guys plus beans.
Yeah.
I need somebody to go. We found this dungeon. If you guys could delve into it, give me a percentage for finder's fee. Yes. Step into our office. Also, would you like some beans? You're like,
Instead of
what?
like snacks on the conference table, it's just beans.
It's
Yeah.
a bowl of beans. Yeah.
It's like big open containers with a little scoop and beans and little,
Yeah.
so while you're waiting in line.
Yeah.
But they are good tasting beans, though.
Oh yeah.
Is the thing. Yeah.
All right, last
4
call
guys,
before I
ventures, and
add the
vibes.
4th tension die to the pool. Is this everything you're giving Lucille, and is she going away, or are we going to continue having her here and loading her up with stuff?
Once we finish the letter, I think that's everything.
Of course. You can
I think I'm
just
good, yep.
write the letter after this session
Okay.
and like send it to me on Discord, and then if it's relevant, we'll bring it up then, just to keep the pace moving here.
Okay.
Cool.
So you fill her basically storage bag thing, you feed her some rations, and Lucille, after leaning down and giving one big friendly lick to Jeb that's like, her tongue, she's a dragon, her tongue's almost as long as he is tall, gives it like a big lick up the front of his jacket and flips his hat back a little bit, and then she takes off into the air and flies off, showering everyone with a little bit of mud.
All right, let's get this cipher truck out of here.
I
And
agree.
take a nap because I haven't slept.
Let's,
for
let-
once
let's-
off, that's a great idea.
Let's
Once
get
we
to the
get to where we're
grasses.
going.
Yep, the prairies, and then I think under the cover of the grasses we will be able to rest.
And as you roll away, hoping to rest soon. No, I'm just kidding. You make it to your rest. You make it to your rest point, nestled away in some grasses. All I need before we start our session for real is for someone to roll a stealth check on behalf of the truck. I wonder who that'll be.
Who should that be? I wonder.
should- that be-
Owlin, you got this, right?
Oh, lovely. I'm -1. Let's do it.
But for real though, let me just pull out my roguish ability score improvements. You said stealth?
I did. That's what I said.
Why, my fool?
You simply adopted the dark.
That's gonna 27.
All right. So you get the cart masked in the prairie grasses, and Fox is even able to find some other shrubs and stuff to put on top. So even if you fly overhead, you won't see the shining of the metal reflecting back.
yeah.
The rain is helping mask it. Maybe a little bit of fog kicks up, and everyone takes a nap. And you know what nap time means? It means, I guess, that it's story time at the Wing Patcher Tavern, and we'll be right back. Dude, do you remember when this had sound?
Yeah.
This time it's
remember
coming out of
sound.
my TV. I'll point the microphone at the TV.
That's funny.
They can hear us too, right?
We can't hear it, Josh. I'm sorry.
Ah, rip my mic.
It's getting crisped.
It's getting crisped. Oh, yeah, I bet it's Discord doing it. I bet they can hear it on Twitch just a teeny bit. Yes, they can hear you too. But I believe...
They can save the world. Blah,
Next time this goes through, we
blah,
should
Let's
blah,
meet our players for the
blah.
evening, starting with Fox.
Hello, I'm Fox, played by the human Matt, and I am a rogue changeling who will never die. Consequences are for the weak, and stealth is my thing.
Hey, I'm Wash. I play Jebediah Peppermint. He's a little gun wizard molefolk that spits fire and fires spit. And I believe luck is for the lucky, and clever catchphrase.
I'm Jake. I play Alan Woodrear, the Azamar Barbarian Artificer, who neither fires spit nor spits fire, but is intensely scarred by the fact that his best friend may be evil. So that's the thing. And that'll, yeah, you know.
Hello, I'm Trevor. I play Zothka Kibub, the orc cleric. He is green now. Back to his original color, you know. It's been a wild ride for that. He also does not spit fire or fire spit.
And I'm Josh, your Wing Badger Game Master. Let's jump right back into tonight's Dungeons and Dragons session, shall we? You are sleeping among the rain. You are nicely hidden among the prairie grasses, and I believe your plan was to use this hour rest to do a couple things. So before we continue, let's talk about what happens during your hour's rest.
Oh, I thought we were taking a long rest.
Yeah, I thought it was a long
Oh, that's
rest.
right. A long rest. Okay, sure. You take a long rest. That's fine.
I thought so.
You're going to sleep the day away and travel under cover of night? That's probably wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally not because I'm out of resources and health.
Of course not.
Who wants to take the first watch?
first
Zothka, like
watch.
on the drive here, just passed out.
Alan will
Well,
Alan will take the first
I
watch.
guess not Zoth.
Okay, I'll. You guys want to pair up a little bit and save us some time? That way we're only like have an hour of extra time during our rest.
Sure.
Okay, I'll take the first one with you, Alan.
Alan will, like, kind of scooch, like, he's not sitting next to you. He's, like, off to the side, and he pulls out the paper again that he grabbed from Makar's room. And he's just studying it.
What you got there, pup? I'm just gonna sidle up next to you.
It's the encoded message that I found in Makar's room. I was able to decipher it somewhat quickly. Obviously not quick enough to see what happened with the spider and whatever was on the back of the cart, but it's not good.
This isn't something that Makar. Is it something that like was sent to him that he received?
It was sent to him. It's not a response. But it's, I mean, given the evidence that we've had, I mean, it essentially tells him to seize the rod on, they call it the appointed day, which it matches up with the date of the darkening in the letter. And that's mostly it. The rest of it's fairly vague. It doesn't say where the rod is now. And it provides no follow-up, which makes me assume that there were either more letters shared. What's difficult for me that I've now realized is that if he were under the Aboleth's control, I doubt he would need a letter. And that, because of what we know of the Aboleth just psionically compels you to do its bidding. Like, it gives you commands in your mind.
Yeah.
And if mind commands were an option, I wouldn't send letters.
Well, I mean,
So-
I know us guys, like, besides you, we've had a little bit of a reservation about him, but, you know, we don't know the guy, so we've been kind of following your lead on his trustworthiness, but...
what's...
Well,
We were
hold on a second.
children.
This
Okay.
is the thing, is that so anyway, I'm saying this to say that I don't have any skin in the game, but he seems like he's really important to you. And so I'd like to offer this one consolation, even though it might be slim. If this is just a message that he has received, he may have taken the rod for a separate reason. He very well may have turned at the end to try to stop something that they were doing. You know, like the end result might be that the Aos Lore Foundation still fell, you know, and all of that. But it's possible that maybe he took it to get it away from the Aboleths. Just food for thought. I don't know what the merits of that are, but, you know, trying to think about the best possible scenario.
It is an intriguing thought, and one that I had not necessarily thought of after realizing he was likely not under the slavery of the Aboleth.
Yeah, we're going through this right now, you know, kind of
Um,
processing real time.
But it's... I would like to hold out hope as well. But I feel as though with all that he caused by stealing the rod, whether he put it in the hands of the Aboleths or not, and then to act so like nothing, like we had missed nothing, like we were just children again, catching up on what we've missed. When we saw him a few weeks ago, it just all rings hollow now, like it. And it's just difficult when you hold someone to such a high standard. Like, he was... We were children, but we wanted to... We wanted to be... I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be as learned as him. I wanted to be as energetic as him. I wanted to...
Y'all are close to the same age, right?
Yes, but...
Yeah, so it's a whole iron sharpening iron thing, you know.
Yes,
Want
yes.
to like push each other on. And,
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, pup. I don't know what to tell you, and I hope for the best.
I do as well. And even if I feel as though even if it turned out to be the best that it could be at this point, it would still be... I just wish this had never happened.
Now, here's an interesting thought. You know, when I interacted with this guy right here, and Jeb kind of touches the iron rod that he has, you know, it locked my consciousness away for, what was it, like a month or something like that?
Well, I believe it was... Okay, checking with the DM. Was it
2
only
months.
for a night? Oh, 2 months.
2 months. Yeah, it was a while.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. You remember. I mean,
Yes,
I know
yes.
there's like other stuff you were probably doing, but I wonder if he had, like, would he have taken the chance to do this, to try to gain mastery over it? I remember Zothkug couldn't get into this thing. You know, he tried to, but like we couldn't even pick it up and take it with us. It was, the hand was repelled by it. And so that maybe like for him to even grab it and take it with him means something. I don't know what that means.
He would have the ability to do so. I just now can't help but question what his intentions would have been with it. And and that's sad to me to have to do that.
Well, it's a big trade, all the people there and their potential well-being for some other, your own gain or the ambitions of some nefarious person. Like what would he even gain from such a relationship? Unless he was
sure.
Was there something that he wanted more than anything?
Nothing particularly when we were children. We both desired knowledge. We both desired wisdom and achievement in those fields, but
walking up
I don't mean to get
quietly
basic,
behind the two of you as you talk, Garlel, who has just been kind of trancing for his rest, says, "And the rod that he took contains the wisdom of 72 past eons."
That and in that case, perhaps personal gain could have been the reason.
The aboleths are crafty creatures, and if they can find a way to achieve their ends while making someone else think that it is for their own benefit, they will use it. For the aboleths to succeed, they need to only keep the parts of the rod separated.
In that case,
okay, now here's the thing.
I just simply fear the worst.
So, I wonder where it is, though.
That is the question. It makes me question what rod is in the Dwarven Kingdom, or even is the duplicate, the supposed duplicate, in Clan Tructa. Was that a real piece of the rod underneath our noses?
I mean, we wouldn't have been able to pick it up without interacting with it.
We're asking DM, I guess. Were we able to were we able to just have contact with it? I don't remember necessarily in that adventure.
Yes, Fox caught it when he tried to drop it off the edge of the tower, and also this rod is the rod you're talking about that was in the Eos Lore Foundation tower is ornamented with a dragon's head at the top of it, and the one that you took from the the Thief King, which is what we call that episode, the one you took from the Thief King had the crenellations of a castle parapet at the top of it.
Okay. Well, then
you make a good point. That's not the same one. So,
I'm not sure. It does make me think that since we know where he is and he is our lead on the rod, that perhaps we'll be journeying at least back to Clan Tructa.
He may be a good stop once you have sent me on my way.
Yes.
Do you think that he's trying to gather multiple pieces himself? Like if he has one? I do not know. We know that they gain in power the more pieces an individual has.
What makes me question that is that obviously the aboleths want them separate, and so they would probably feed him some sort of lie to keep him from doing that. And B, what he really did desire was knowledge and wisdom. That's what we both desire. And so if he has the rod of wisdom and he's able to attune to it, then I think he may be, in kind of a twisted way, content with what he's done.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he did it all because of that girl. Ain't no telling without finding him and asking him.
I don't know. I don't look forward to that interaction, but I think it may be necessary. We'll have to strategize.
When that interaction comes, just know that we've all got your back, pup, and we're all here for you.
Thank you.
Jeb, did you want to also use this time to identify anything?
Yes, absolutely, as much as possible.
How many? You've got like 4. I think you have more than 4 things that need
I got
identifying.
a bunch.
So how about you roll? Let's see here.
So
roll
also the things that I would like to attempt. Well, so sorry, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, why don't you roll 3d4, and that'll tell us how many things you're able to identify during your rest. And then you can pick which things off the list.
2, 3, and 2. So 5, 6, 7.
Okay. Wow, that's a
I don't even
good
think I
number of
have that
things.
many things.
Yeah, okay, so you can identify them all. So just read them off to me, and I'll tell you what they are.
So what I have is the Mobius band. I have a brass earring with clouds on it.
Let's just do them one at a time, because I'm going to have to scroll through notes for
Okay.
each one. So the Mobius band that you have found is actually... Pulls up notes. It is called a dimensional loop. And I will give you the cliff notes of what it does, but Fox, you can obviously, Google. This is a real item, so you can Google this and figure out what it is. Requires attunement.
Okay.
While attuned to the device, you have a +1 bonus to strength saving throws, and you have dark vision to a range of 60 feet. As a bonus action, you can send your body out of phase with the material world for 1 minute, granting you advantage on dexterity stealth checks made to hide, and imposing disadvantage on attack rolls against you. This is a feature called Dimensional Cloak. Once you use this feature, it cannot be used again until the next dawn. It has another feature called Fold Space. Choose a space you can see within 60 feet of you, no action required. You treat that space as if it were within 5 feet of you until the end of your turn. This allows you to move immediately to that space without provoking opportunity attacks or to interact with objects or creatures in that space as though they were next to you. And then the last one is called Part of a Whole. This is a piece of a grander design, and within that grander design, perhaps the failure chance would go away, but without the rest of Demetrius's tinkering, that like by itself, this is certainly not stable enough to work every time, which is why it has a 70% success rate. So the other 30% of the time, I have basically a micro complication pool of things that could go wrong. You are not able to identify what those side effects could be, Jeb, but you are able to identify that they are probably not kill you side effects. They're probably, like, compared to death, relatively minor. Things like they're sort of in the same way that like a young sorcerer's magic might be unstable, and so it might cause unexpected side effects around them. It's like that.
Time and space is kind of wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, kind of timey-wimey.
Yeah. And
okay,
then
what's
the next 2 things, there's just 2 things. It's the earring, the brass earrings with clouds on them, and then the amethyst chunk. That's everything.
Earring of Message has 3 charges and resets every dawn. And you've got... Scrolls down to the amethyst. This is an amethyst lodestone. It does require attunement. This fist-sized chunk of amethyst is infused with an amethyst dragon's ability to bend gravitational forces. While you are carrying the lodestone, you have advantage on strength saves. The lodestone has 6 charges, which you can use while you are holding the stone. And the stone gains some charges. Again, I won't give you all the mechanics, but it gets some charges at dawn, but not all. You roll for it. Flight, you can expend 1 charge to gain the power of flight for 10 minutes. Gravitational Thrust, you can expend 1 charge to focus gravity around a creature you can see, which must succeed on a throw or be pushed 20 feet in a direction of your choice. Or you can expend 3 charges to reverse gravity from the stone. So like basically, a knockback away from you, like an AoE knockback. And that is the Amethyst Lodestone.
Ooh. These are some pretty hefties.
The Mobius strip is quite interesting. I think it's so. It makes me happy that projects from this great place, some of them still survive the fall and can be useful in redeeming the world from what caused the fall.
Hey, I'm more on the theoretical side and practical side than the tinker side, but the markings on the edge of this Mobius band here, it looks like it's like part of something bigger, like it's supposed to slot into something or couple with other things.
That's quite possible. It's I'm not sure whether those pieces would be back in the tower. Obviously, we have no time and should not go back there at this moment.
Yeah.
Or perhaps
You know how the mind runs. You start to see pieces of things. You're like, wait, well, the possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. I completely understand. I think it's also possible that I don't know whether Demetrius made it out from the tower. If so, then perhaps the other pieces are strewn about the world, and we could find them.
Chat has granted a boon.
Maybe it's something that you're destined to finish.
For your
Perhaps.
boon, I'm going to not roll the tension pool, which had 6 dice in it. I'm going to clear it down to 3 as we reach the middle of your watch, and we switch over who's on watch and who's not.
Nice.
Sweet.
So,
Good talk, Howlin.
Thank you. I
Don't worry about
greatly
the talk.
appreciate it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
It's a bridge I am not eager to cross, but yes, you're right.
Oh.
I'm gonna smack
right.
Zoth Doug on the butt. Time to get up, pup.
No.
It's your turn.
All right, man. Have a good sleep.
All right, Zoth. You watch the left, I'll watch the right.
What about forward?
The cart will get it.
do I need to make you roll Constitution saves to stay awake?
No.
You're role-playing some pretty sleepy people.
He's just groggy from waking up. He was woken up in the middle of REM.
Okay.
I rolled anyway. You can't stop me from ruining my own potential. And it didn't roll good. I rolled a 7.
Oh no.
Well, I'll roll those 3 die in the tension pool just to see if anything happens while Fox is like nodding in and out of consciousness during the rest of your rest, as it were.
Literally, Matt's roleplay is so good that it sabotages the meta part of the game, and it's great. Like, it's only a positive.
Yep, I'm here for it.
I feel
This
like
next part of the show is called Introspection with Zoth.
I feel like that's like what you would say either as like genuine or just really salty.
I
"You're not
mean it as
Also, I think it's
genuine.
ironic that Zoth probably wants to have like a heart-to-heart with Fox, and he just falls asleep on him.
Well, he's just nodding in and out, so they can still have conversations. It's just that he's like, he's like kind of fighting to keep his eyes open type thing.
Hey, Fox man. You doing okay?
Uh-huh. Great over here. Clear. Very wet.
Is there a leak in the cipher truck?
What? No. Is there? No, why would you say that?
You said you're very wet.
No, I said, no, it's raining. I said it was raining.
All right, man.
Ugh.
Is rescuing every avatar going to be like this? Because it's a very taxing endeavor.
You're telling me, bruh. Man, this is... I don't think I felt this exhausted since that time we had to run for like a straight week away from that one town. I still think it was a misunderstanding.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, that was painful.
You know, I don't believe you trying to calm them down helped. I'm just saying.
I was just trying to settle a dispute. That was it.
They were trying to dispute on how to kill me. I don't think you're gonna settle that. Just saying.
Well, I wasn't gonna let them kill you. I was just trying to get them to see that.
Still very exhausting.
Yes. Is Garlo still here?
Garlo's there, but he's also like nodding in and out is not quite right because he's trancing, but he's like doing his meditation basically.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
sitting over there. He's chilling.
If you guys don't like have anything else to talk about, we can time skip to the end of this. I just wanted to give you the opportunity.
Actually, I think I did had a character here want to talk about something.
Okay.
do you think we got here, man?
What do you mean? How do you think we got here?
I mean,
In what sense?
like
Like on a
So-
philosophical level?
because we were just, kind of just chilling, running around, I mean, you were kind of just trying to clean up my messes. But, we kind of just went from place to place, and next thing you know, we're uncovering conspiracies. I mean, we teamed up with these fools, awesome people. And now we're on a quest to fucking kill eldritch beings.
It's to bring the
Beyond
magic
time.
back. We
And to
decided
bring
to
magic back, yeah.
take it upon ourselves to
How does that happen, man? Like,
um,
not even a year ago, I feel like we weren't even... Like, the worst thing I had to worry about was whether or not I was going to get caught in my 3-card Marty. Like,
what do you mean you were gonna get caught? You were the one running it.
well, somebody might catch on, That's all I had to worry about, though. As long as nobody knew that the game was rigged from the start. It was easy money, and you know it. Alright? That saved us many a time from sleeping in the hay.
That's true, it did. I generally just sort of glossed over your nefarious dealings.
Yeah, I suggest you keep doing that, by the way.
I'd never plan to stop. I'm still not going to ask about the sudden influx of money we've acquired.
And I'm still going to tell you, we had a very mysterious donor
Of course.
who really believed in Four Guys, Ventures, and Vibes.
Of course.
Really believed.
Of course, man. I trust you.
This all sorted out then.
It's been certainly been a wild and bumpy ride, and hear me out, man. But I mean, it all started with these ancient eldritch beings taking away magic, and then how it became us, well, that's just luck of the draw, I suppose, or maybe it was the Fox Man. Wake up! Hey!
You're saying something about Kelnor or something?
Yeah, like these ancient beings got rid of magic, and then it was Kelnor's will that we were the ones to bring it back.
Man, this rain makes me so sleepy.
You gotta fight through. Do you want some coffee?
Got coffee in your rations?
I have some coffee beans. I'm
Why?
a plant guy.
Why the hell do you have coffee in your... Why have you never
Good
shared
tasting
the
beans.
coffee?
I haven't drinking any of the coffee. We'd be out if I was drinking it.
Why are you holding out?
For times like these.
All right, well, yeah, here, and I'll find a kettle. Started a little smokeless fire here. All right. Yeah, give me some of that coffee.
Here's the coffee beans. You need to smash them and grind them up.
Yeah, I think somebody showed me how to do it. You just like kind of take your knife, like flat end, and you just kind of smoosh it like that, right?
Oh, you want to be able to put it in a filter, but yeah.
The filter schmelter, it's fine.
Are you just gonna put the coffee beans at the bottom of your cup and pour water in it?
Isn't that what you do? It's like tea, right?
I mean, what you usually do is you grind up your coffee beans, you put fabric over the cup, you put
Listen,
the beans in
man,
the fabric, and then you pour the water over
That's
the
too
beans.
involved, all right? That's too involved, all right? I'm drinking my coffee. As is.
All right, man. You do you. I'm just trying to help you get a better cup of coffee.
Josh, may I roll perception now that I have coffee?
Sure. Roll perception.
Wow, this is night and day, the difference. So that's a 22.
Yeah, that coffee really
Perceive.
perked you up. You hear something rustling in the prairie grasses. It is not like close enough to see, but you hear something it's a rustling out there.
Hey, Soph, you didn't tell me that these beans are a little noisy.
What?
Like the beans are a little noisy.
Podcast
I just-
listeners, Fox is twitching his head to the side.
I'll look the direction he's twitching his head.
He's twitching his head out the window. You look out the window and it's rainy and there's grass. Eventually you're able to hear something rustling out there.
Is it a loud or a small rustle?
It is a distant rustle.
Okay. We should be fine. It's probably just the prairie dogs and the prairie grass.
Well, we should probably keep quiet here. I'm gonna put out the fire we have here and turn off any lanterns we have and darken the place. Do I still hear it?
You do still hear the rustling. It's getting slightly louder. We have reached to the point where it is like golden hour and everyone has had their full long rest. And just as Jeb and Owlin are kind of groggily waking up, realizing the lights are all off and Fox is looking a little antsy and twitchy from his caffeine and his detection of something out in the wilderness, you hear a high-pitched shrieking cry. Not like a dragonelle. This is some other monster. And Garlel opens his eyes and looks towards you and goes, "Well, there's good news and there's bad news.
Bad news first.
The bad
what's the
news
bad
is
news?
that's the cry of a velociraptor.
A what?
What?
It is a kind of dinosaur, one of the few things that dragons are actually have to fight against and protect from. The good news is that when there's only one of them, they are very easy to scare away in combat. It's only dangerous if the entire herd shows up. And as he says that, you hear the thundering of footsteps as a whole herd of velociraptor come shrieking and snapping and crying out of the grass towards the cipher truck.
Is this something Alan's familiar with? Is this something that he had to grow up with? There be dinosaurs out here.
Yeah,
There
sure.
be dinosaurs.
Okay.
So that puts us into pursuit. There, we have some homebrew pursuit rules, chat, which we've talked about a couple of times, so I'm not going to go over them a ton. You have, because they're starting in the distance, you have a 2-step lead already. You need a 3-step lead to begin rolling for escape, but they have the advantage on you. So they're going to start running towards you, and then we will give you a shot at, evading them and so on and so forth. So this is sort of turn-based, but not quite initiative order, because you're just going to act as a group and decide what you do to escape them.
Is Fox or Zoth in the driver's seat?
This is why you stay out of the grass.
Nobody's in the driver's seat right now. As they come thundering towards you, they're going to... in fact, they're just going to take the dash action, so they're going to gain 1 space on you just by spending the whole turn running and focusing on that. Okay, what will you do to evade
Hey,
them?
Garlisle, what are the chances that they normally hunt in packs?
Not great, but apparently good here.
Right. I'm just gonna pick up Jeb, put him at the driver's seat. Jeb, we need to go. We need to go now,
Yeah.
Jeb.
Mush.
Alan's gonna pull out also from his pack a set of long pants that you've never seen him wear. He's no longer gonna have common clothes in his pack anymore. He pulls out a set of long pants that you've never seen him wear before, and you see him pull out his tinkering tools again. And this time, when he's done tinkering with it, it smells like the rotten meat that it smelled like on the thing before. And he's gonna attempt to once we get moving, throw the pants off our trail to like see if any velociraptors will follow that instead of us.
Okay, so for that to work, you're going to need to wait to get up to speed. So this turn, we're just
Totally
going to roll
fine.
for the truck accelerating, and the next
Okay.
turn, that can be the mood we take. Also, I have added a command that I think only my players can use. In the chat, if you type !Cypher Truck, it will put up a list of the things that we have installed in the Cypher Truck on screen. The various ciphers that you've installed, the cost, and how many of them you can use before an artificer must recharge them. So I've just pulled that up on screen just so you know. And I've also given Jeb command of your Wingle digit stores, so he can use !WD and a number to update the Wingle digit counter on the top right of the screen. So we have 900 Wingle digits right now. Jeb says, yeah, I'm assuming that means you want it to self-propel itself, right?
Yeah, we don't have any rotate with us, right? We've just been going self-propelled
Yeah, you've
this whole
just
time.
been going self-propelled.
Dang.
Oof.
So you've spent
But
100
yeah.
Wingle digits getting the truck moving. The good news is that because it's self-propelled, it accelerates rather quickly, and for that reason, we're going to go ahead and give you 1 space of distance away from your pursuers.
Can Zoff put a fog cloud and entangle down?
Yeah, do you want to use them both in the same round, or do you want to wait until... Let's do this like turn-based. So
Okay.
they're going to run towards you, but now I'm going to roll a complication to see if anything happens to either of you. There's only one in the pool right now. Okay, so there are no complications. They're going to continue running towards you. The ground is muddy and slippery, so let's give them a deck save to stay on their feet. Oh, they nat 20'd it, so never mind.
Dang it.
They are definitely able to continue closing the distance with you as they rush towards you. This brings us back to your turn. You may pick one diversionary tactic. Owlin's got the thing he could throw. You could drop some of your ciphers.
I think
Alan's locked and loaded and ready for the word on
I think-
on throwing it.
Alan should go first since he's already started it. And I also
Yeah.
just want to say, I'd like to think that Alan has just been sitting on these clothes and he's kept them pristine, clean,
They've never been worn.
folded, ironed, never worn. And then all of a sudden he's just like, I know how to tinker immediately. Just like, we're putting you on the back of this filthy cart. We're putting this other one. We're just throwing it to the raptors.
Stink bomb thrown to the
Like,
raptors.
just been saving these clean, ironed, pressed clothes for just this occasion.
Yep. Okay, cool. Alan's gonna attempt to chuck it as far as he can off the trail to see if he can attract any raptors.
Awesome. To do that, let's do athletics to see how far you can throw it. You twist it into
Okay.
like a more solid thing and chuck it out to the side of the truck. Let's see how far it goes.
That is 14.
14, and I'm going to roll percentile to see how many of them... Actually, let's use 14 as a DC. I'll roll a d20 to see how many of them follow it. Haha! Okay, all but 3 of them follow it. So now that's going to count as you gaining 2
Let's
spaces
go.
on them. So that puts us 1 right there. So you are 3 spaces away. The next turn, if they're not able to close the distance with you, you'll be able to roll to escape. So they're going to try and catch up with you, but now they have the risk of losing the scent. So let's roll to see if they can keep it with a survival check. They are not able to, so they do not catch up 1 square this turn.
Let's go.
At that moment, go
Let's
ahead and roll
go.
for escape. So this is going to be a d20, and you can either choose stealth to hide yourselves and get out of the way, or you can choose athletics to basically outrace them. Actually, for this one, let's do animal handling because it's driving the cart. So stealth or animal handling to either outrace them or hide from them, whichever you choose, and someone will roll on behalf of the party.
My guess
If I'm
is
driving a self-driving car, could I make a case for Arcana instead of animal handling to drive
Sure,
this thing?
and you shall roll it.
there we go. Let's go, Jeb.
That's an 11.
Oh, no.
But I have a plus 9 in Arcana, so that's a 20.
Cool. And they're just going to roll to continue pursuing you. So for them, it's athletics. And they rolled a nat 1.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
So they
Stupid
rolled.
velociraptors.
That's right. So they rolled a nat 1, and just as they fade into the distance, you come bursting out of the prairie grass and onto the road. And you can still hear them snapping and crying behind you. One of them manages to continue racing forwards and busts out of the grass behind you, still a significant way back. And then all of a sudden, you hear this ear-splitting, gargantuan roar from overhead. And a dragon swoops down and stomps the raptor, like literally lands on it, grabs it in its talons, and flings it back down the road. As the dragon turns, you're able to see that it is a dragon with like this incredible brass coloring. It's very metallic in nature. Its head is defined by this like broad protective plate that expands from its forehead, and it has spikes protruding from its chin. A frill runs down the length of its neck, and its tapering wings extend down the length of its tail. Its belly is stiff and metallic where other creatures might be soft or vulnerable, and painted across its sternum are some draconic runes. For those of you who speak draconic, it says cinder painted across its stomach, and it has just underneath of that a medal emblazoned with the sigil of Fladena, which is a coiled dragon with its wings flared out to the sides. The dragon turns towards you, and it says, "Fear not, travelers. You are safe now." And as it says that, you can hear all of the velociraptors rushing away into the distance as 3 more vanguards of the city fly up and form a little protective fan around you.
Let's go!
Thank you, kind sir.
I'm liking this town.
You are most welcome. And who might you be? The dragon leans its head down to get a better look at you and your cipher truck.
According to what Owlin knows about dragons and stuff, letting them know we're with Garlel is like a good thing, right? Like that's like...
That's a good thing.
Actually, Garlel kind of like taps you on the shoulder and shakes his head no, like maybe he feels it would be better to keep a low profile until we know like how far the Aboleth's influence stretches.
Oh, okay. We are just... okay, let me formulate thoughts.
Entrepreneurs.
I am
entrepreneurs.
Zavia. What's your name?
My name is Cinder, and I am one of the vanguard of Fladena. I am a protector of this town.
Hello, Cinder. Sorry, we've kind of floundered here. Let me introduce us properly. My name is Fox, and us bunch here are part of Four Guys, Ventures, and Vibes.
You instantly detect that you have done something amiss as the dragon steps back from you, and the others who were protectively fanning around you turn to look towards you instead. We've heard of your guild. No doubt you are here to plunder the hordes of my countrymen, or slay us as wild beasts for sport. Dungeon delvers are not welcome in Fladena. You shall need to turn back. You're not welcome here.
Is it us or just dungeon delvers as a whole?
As if dungeon delvers weren't bad enough, we've heard about you specifically. Your misdeeds in Aspesh, your abhorrent behavior towards the teensy-weensy folk of Tumbleweb. You'll not bring that manner of chaos here, travelers.
I'd like you to know that it's slander.
You are talking over each other, and you're very small, so it's hard to distinguish your voices. Speak one at a time, please.
I was just going to say, that is slander. All right? We, as my friend Zoth here was about to say, saved Tumbleweb, all right? As our friend here, Jeb, has a very huge interest in saving. All right? We would have never, done anything to upset that.
So you did not, for example, and he leans down towards you, rob a bank?
I did not.
His giant draconic head swings around to lock eyes with Owlin.
I'm here for this moment.
Or cause drunken revelry and disturbance at a wine tasting.
That is quite interesting that is what has reached the far lands.
Or perhaps, and
as
then
opposed
it
to
rears
our
its
good
head
deeds
back
that we've
up.
done.
It rears its head back up, and it gets louder and louder in its indignation as it goes. Or perhaps impersonate various sewage protection companies attempting to climb into the city water supply.
It's also quite interesting that is what has came across. Respectfully, we will abide by your decree. It seems as though we are at an impasse, and we apologize on imposing upon your lands.
I can see that you are weakened from your travels, and so I shall do you this one favor. For tonight, you may stay at one of our inns. You will rest yourself in lands that are well protected by my kinsmen, and his head lifts a little bit in pride at, the vanguard of Fladena. and you will press on the next day. Will you swear to this? No, never mind. Your kind cannot be trusted with oaths. We've known enough. You do not endure long enough to respect oaths. Some collateral, then. What item of great value will you leave with me for tonight, and receive tomorrow at dawn when you leave these lands? And suddenly all of the other dragons are looking at him like, that was a good idea, man. Like, you can't trust the short people with oaths, but, like, collateral, they love stuff. And, like, they all kind of lean in to see what you'll come up with as collateral.
Owlin is going to put his arm up, and Brad is going to land on his arm. He's going to give Brad a couple little pets and like give him a little bit of like it's okay. Like they're trustworthy. It'll be okay. And then he will have Brad fly up to this big imposing dragon and say, "This is my homunculus servant. He is very dear to me, dear to us as a whole. And as long as you swear that you will not let any harm come to him, we will abide by our part of the bargain."
I am a member of the Honorable Fladena Vanguard, and to us, oaths are sacred. I hereby swear upon the scales on Rufus's back, and he nods to one of the dragons next to him, that we will do no harm to this Brad.
Thank you. We will abide as well by our oath.
Tread carefully, travelers. I see that you have some slippery trickery in your toolbox. As he looks at the little homunculus, there will be no such slippery trickery within the lands, and you'd be wise to avoid sticky fingering the hordes of our denizens. And then
Owlin will not obviously, but just give a little side glance to Fox and Jeb.
With one great motion, all four of the dragons who have arrived near you launch themselves into the sky and take back off. Ahead of you, you are now able to see in the distance, as the rain is beginning to thin into a more light misting, you can see Fladena. And it's not much to look at first. There isn't really much of a skyline. And as you're looking at it like, okay, but where's the city? Garla walks up next to you and explains, Fladena is a city of dragons. We build our homes in dens, so most of these structures are actually built down. Only the bipeds who live in this city have structures above ground. And as you're looking more closely, you start to see like single dwelling homes and stuff like that. They're just spaced really far out. In many ways, this is a city just like your other nations would have, except wider. The roads are wide enough for dragons to walk side by side and so on and so forth. And they also have exceptional taste in music. And as you get closer to the town, you're able to hear like some Motown jazz being played because there are just littered all throughout Fladena. There's just this huge jazz scene. So like there are just dragons along with their dragon worshippers and dragon kin and half dragon. Like they're just on every street corner playing their trumpets and their saxophones.
That's
and
so
like
cool.
Just bopping. As you're approaching the town, Garlel, who has been serving as your guide, says, now we need to find one of the inns. Dragons do not, well, they have a wide range of reading skills. And so for that reason, we do not usually mark our structures with written signs. Instead, and as you look over in the distance, you see a den, and out in front of it is a gigantic anvil just sitting on the ground. We tried to pick things that are hard to mistake. And so you continue walking along looking for an inn. You come across a couple different buildings. You know, you see one that on the outside, it has what's clearly the pilfered sails of a wrecked ship are like stuck outside on the mast as if it were a flagpole to indicate a tailor's shop. And then eventually you come to an inn with a giant pitchfork stuck in the ground outside of it. This is probably a tavern. The fork will indicate food. Why don't we try this one? And you head towards the inn. And just as we head towards the inn, before we find out what's inside the inn, I'd like to give one of our players, Jake, a chance to tell us about what's in his inn for the evening, because Jake likes to do some mixed drinks. So I'm going to leave this bopping music playing, and Jake's going to tell us what he's drinking tonight, and then we'll come back in 5-6 minutes, and we'll pick back up with the adventure here.
I absolutely love it. So tonight, I will be drinking the Dwarven Forge. I'll read the flavor text and then describe the drink. Dwarves are master craftsmen, known far and wide for their attention to detail, resistance to heat of their mighty furnaces, and mastery over the blend of artistry and function. To pay proper homage to the stout axe-loving folk, this cocktail is a challenge to make and a reward to master. It's also on fire, so be extremely careful to follow all the recommended safety instructions. I hate to disappoint, the people in the audience. I did not make the version that is on fire because it was very complicated. I would like to try it sometime. That's not to say I won't do it another time, but I also didn't have that much time between like my class and now. I had enough time to like make the mixed drink and put it in my fridge, but not enough time to like make the thing that you're supposed to put on top of it and light on fire, which sounds awesome.
OSHA violation.
Yep. But I will go grab it from my fridge right now, and while I do that, oh no, right when I'm gonna grab it from the fridge, oh, here we go, new jazz song. You'll be occupied by this new jazz song for the, like, 30 seconds it takes me to grab it.
I am now occupied by this new jazz song.
I too am occupied by this jazz song.
I really enjoy being occupied by jazz songs when my buddies go to get their drinks.
Yeah.
And specifically during those times.
Feel like we should find a jazz bar.
For when we're waiting for our friend to get a drink.
We should start a band called Jazz Song Occupation.
It's not a bad band name.
Yeah.
Ooh. We could have
the first album could be called Fire on Top.
I like this. I'm in.
OSHA violation.
Four guys, jazz and vibes.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Maybe
We
we
just
should
take like a little detour, you know, build up our reputation as good
the avatars
Samaritans.
can wait. We gotta do business.
Good Samaritans and jazz.
Four Guys Adventures and Vibes plus Beans.
And jazz.
And
Jazz. Including jazz.
Beans and jazz. Okay, I'm back. So I'll see if I can show the camera here. Ooh. This is a spiced rum drink with I think the spiced rum is supposed to give it the fire of the forge, but it's also cranberry juice and lemon juice.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So here's the first taste, and a reminder: the rating system is one wing, one wingle, or one wingle digit, and that's like how much I would pay to drink this drink. I guess I could also give it 0. Like I'd be like, I wouldn't drink this in a million years. That's probably, I think that's an option too.
Gold.
But that's been the rating system that we've been going on so far. So time for the sip.
Here it is, the sip of truth.
I like that
Yes.
because the cranberry juice is most of the taste, but the rum is pretty strong, but like not the alcohol of the rum, like the actual taste of the spiced rum. And that is a nice unexpected thing where it's like you can taste the attributes of the alcohol, but not really the alcohol itself.
So instead of rum
like
raisin, it's like rum craisin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, it has a good warmth to it that I like. I think it's like, I would call this like a straight down the middle. Like I'm not like extremely wowed by it, but I'm also not like, I don't know. It's bleh. I think this is a wingle for me.
I like this.
I would call it a
for
wingle.
You're gonna drink it.
It's
yeah,
mid.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not, I would say it's like slightly better than mid. So maybe I would pay a wingle and a couple wings for it. But I don't know if I want to get that complicated.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
With the ratings.
No, we'll just
Yeah,
do
we
1, 2,
need
and
to
3.
go down to the decimal point to the 100th place.
Oh yeah, so like 1 wingle, 2 silver, 1
A
copper,
and a
Yeah.
halfpenny.
and a halfpenny. For sure. But yeah, that's
How much
my...
would you tip a good bartender who served this to you?
Oh gosh, well here's the thing about like
making the rating system more complicated.
when you get like one
Maybe
drink at
wingle
a
and a
bar, I'm pretty like, I don't know. I feel like a bartender does a lot, and like when I watch a bartender work, I feel bad for them almost always, and so I feel like I would tip a bartender like a few, at least like several wings, or maybe just another wingle, just because also when you're coming in for like one drink, I feel like it's just good to consistently tip your bartender anyway, personally.
Fair.
So I'm okay with like tipping another wingle to the
You
bartender who
want to
made
give
this.
them just something to talk about. You just show up every week, the same day, the same time, order a drink, don't say anything, just get the drink, drink it, pay them, and just leave, like no exchange
Immediately.
of anything. Yeah. You just, that mysterious, like, you give them that story to tell of like, yeah,
30
there's this one guy who keeps coming in, same
Ordering
day,
a
same
drink and
time.
never drinking it and paying.
Oh yeah, don't even drink it. You just walk in, pay for the drink, leave it on the counter, and walk out.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go. The Dwarven Forge.
I love it.
One Wingle.
Nice.
And now we jump back to a different kind of tavern, an inn with a big pitchfork in front of it that most dragons will probably just call the inn. Now, on your way here, you noticed a couple of architectural details about the city of Fladena. You know, the way that they build is that all of these structures have a big wide area around them for dragons to land when they're going to patronize the establishment. And the more well-to-do the establishment is, the more cool items from their hoard are on display, nestled in with the plants that are kind of, you know, decor around the edge of the landing area. So as you walk towards this inn, you can see some of the neater things that this place will have, you know, they're like on display for their guests. You know, it's like nice ambiance. And you do see, as you approach this particular inn, this place is hopping. Like, there are dragons, you know, out spread around on the grass who are all like lounging and eating different things. It smells great. It smells like a smokehouse. There's, you know, a ton of different, and as you walk inside, you see why. Because this inn has a bunch of different pits dug into it with openings in the ceiling above for the smoke, and all of the meat is cooked fresh for the dragons to eat. So you come in, you can place a meat order, and then, you know, it's a big, wide den, plenty roomy enough for like 7 or 8 adult dragons to all be eating at once. But it also has several tables and booths and things for small folk. And you can see the reason why perhaps this place is more accommodating to small folk. The innkeeper is actually a fairy dragon, and a fairy dragon is around the height of a dwarf, you know, just a little bit taller than Jebediah Peppermint would be. This particular fairy dragon, she has hummingbird wings and like luminescent kind of varying shades of blue in her scales. And as you walk in, she's kind of kneading the scales with her feet while she pours a drink for someone, you know, out of a mug. I mean, like I said, the place is super busy. And so you kind of walk in on the tail end of her yelling to another customer.
Wow. Now, this place is bumping.
This is quite interesting. In all my
Honey,
time
you're gonna have
living
to
in
hold it together for me. I only got 4 hands. Got 4 hands. What do you? No, you're gonna have to wait. Your server's gonna come fluttering around any moment now. Hello, dolls. What did the dragon drag in? Are these tall folk and one little mole guy? Great to see you. How can I serve you today? What can I do you for?
We would each like a meat, please.
What kind of meat? I got your good meats, I got your bad meats, I got your big meats, I got your small meats. What kind of meats are you looking for, honey? You look like you need a big meat. You look like a big
agree.
meat kind of guy.
I
you
also
as
would
well.
prefer
You
a
got a
big
lot
meat.
going
Yes,
on
thank you.
there. Mm-hmm. What about the little
one
guys?
Big meat, please.
One big
good
meat?
please.
All right, hold on. So, has anybody told you how dragon big is different than tall folk big, which is different than little teensy weensy folk big? Has somebody talked to you through this before? Because it's gonna blow your
No,
minds.
ma'am.
What I really hate is when the plates are not clean, because you come in with your big eyes and your small stomachs and you don't finish my food, and that is just it's rude, you know, it's disrespectful. So I want you to really think about what you're saying here. Do you want a big meat? What about the little skinny one?
Meat.
I do
All right.
still would. Yes, I still would like a big meat.
What
I'll
about
take a medium meat.
the skinny one, with the long hair?
I'll take a good meat.
A good meat,
Also,
all right.
I think none of us. You guys have.
I like to
rooms
think of
here?
myself as a good meat.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that? Can you mutter a little louder for me? It's loud in here, honey. These are dragons.
Do you have rooms here?
Yes. Oh my goodness, you came to the right place. And you know why? Because dragons do not understand. The big dragons, they don't get it. They don't get that there's small folk, and the small folk need a small bed, because you don't want to spend a half hour getting out of your bed in the morning. So, you know, you look at me, you know, I'm about your size. I'm kind of a little bigger than you, but I got beds for all kinds, you know? So I got the beds for each of you. Whatever you need, I got you.
We
I
greatly
think 30
appreciate
minutes
it.
to get out of bed sounds like a very interesting experience.
Well, you know, it's
30
very
minutes to get out of
refreshing,
bed
but
is
the
another
day goes
book,
by real
Jebediah Peppermint
fast.
Chronicles.
Yeah, I would prefer a bed. It's preferably my size.
All right, a little skinny one size. We got one of those. Anybody else? Sorry if I'm offending you. I know the tall folk, they sometimes get offended. We're very blunt here, but we're very sharp. Try to figure that one out, honey.
No, it's a very it's very appreciated for sure. I forgot how much character was in the dragon's domain. This is a welcome, refreshing change.
We got character
never
coming
been
out our
here
ears,
before.
honey, and not all of us have ears. It's tough. Is there anything else I can get? So we're gonna do we need one room with 4 different sized beds, or do you each like your own rooms?
About
Because with
one
dragons,
room
we
with
just
a
kind of
dragon-sized bed, and we'll all just
pile up
take a
and warm
different
up.
corner.
All right, we'll
I
take
like
a
the way
dragon
your
room.
thinking's off. Yeah. One we'll just share the dragon bed.
Yeah, is that cheaper?
Yeah, we can give you a discount if you all pile in one room. Plus, you get to pretend you're a dragon, and we're the best. It's a good life.
I'm here for
you
it.
know, you're warm.
I mean,
you're
Teach me how to
strong.
breathe fire.
With all this music and
Well,
everything? This
the
is-
fire breathers are sitting over there at that table. I'm not much of a fire breather myself. I'll show you. You might see later what I like to breathe. But can I interest you in? So, one of my favorite things about the tall folk and you little guys coming into town is that you come with a lot of stories. You know, I got a lot of stories too. So, do you think you could spin me a yarn and maybe I can pass you something that might interest you? Is there anything
Absolutely.
that you're looking for to find out? Because people tell me things. Like I said, we dragons, we have ears.
Ooh.
Some of us have
But
ears.
not all of you.
No,
I got a yarn.
I got ears. Go for it. You the skinny one.
All right. Now, we all here remember the time we got held up by a certain serpent,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I think
this is a good one.
I think this is a good yarn. You see,
We wrote a poem about it.
we were.
Can you give it to
know-
me in a poem form? Are you crafty like that?
All right. You know what?
He's totally crafty like that. He's down for it. He can do it.
Let's poem form. Here we go.
Do it like a
Maybe
limerick.
match it to some of this music. We got some good sounds in here.
We were wandering through the tunnels, and down a hole we took a fumble. And far we did fall into the dark great abyss that was very tall. Somehow, a mile we fell, but no scratch did we befell. And on our way, stumbling through the dark, we had to take a real quick park. For in our way was a giant serpent. And its eyes glared
There's the plot twist for you.
with wonder. No, give me a second. I gotta take a drink of water.
It's the pause. It's the pause before, the story goes down into that good part. Like they call that the peak. Yeah.
Gotta wet,
Intermission snaps.
So, being stared down, eyes full of wisdom and equally malice, should we fall to fooldom. He asked us each one secret, please. And that's all we had to do to get by with a squeeze.
Music to my ears.
Now, we managed to provide a secret each, and he allowed us passage. We were no longer besieged. However, I did point out, well, this wasn't very entertaining. You seem more like a layabout.
Oh.
And at this, he was very upset. So I had tricked out of him the details that allowed us to be quit. The quest that we are on. We were only able to get this far because we got by without harm. from the serpent in the dark. He is no layabout. He told us with a tongue sharp. What was his name again, fellas?
Ivan?
Something serpent. Starts with a K. Something
Ivan.
older than time.
Ivan.
Kyvan. Yeah, we may have walked into Kyvan. It was a time.
Now, I don't know if that's a true story, but it sure was a good story. You know, we love
It
some
is a
good
true
stories around here. Well, you know, that one at that table over there, and she points over to just this one large dragon who's wrapped all the way around a table. He comes in here every day, and he drinks for free if he can give me a good enough story. So, you know, some of y'all come in and you just tell some tales. I don't know about that, but I love hearing it. I like your attitude. This skinny one, I like him. He's wonderful. I'm gonna give you a drink for free. Now, so
That's what I'm
one thing I
talking
do
about.
want to tell you. Yeah, you can pick your choice, honey. So one thing I do want to say, if you want the good information when you're talking to dragons, right? We love a good story. Stories are great. I can give you a little bit for free, just for giving me a good story. But you want to take away something from here, you want to know the good stuff, we're about treasure here. We're not about money. We're not about money. I make money every day. I make amazing pastries. I have a wonderful tavern. I make the dough. They call me the dough girl. Clara Dough Girl Alberquerque. The dough, you know, I make the dough to make the dough. That's what I do. It's all right. It's a good living. But you want the real treasures of gossip, you gotta bring in some treasures. Like, do you have any, you know, well, let me get you started on something that I heard recently. So we had some out-of-towners a while back who were coming through just like you. So they were some dungeon delvers making some trouble. I know y'all are not gonna make any trouble like that. One of them was covered in rocks. That's what they told me. He was like, rocks were his skin. I don't know how that works. It was not a dragon. I know dragons. But it was real weird. They said they was ambushed and robbed by some kind of guild. That's about all I got for free. So what I'm wondering is, do you have something that a girl could put in her hoard that maybe might loosen some lips?
You know,
Just to clarify the question, do we have a physical object or do we have another story?
So
Both?
I want something valuable. I want you to impress me. I want to be dazzled. I want to see a relic. Something, you know, I like ancient things. I like the stories, the history. I wanna see something real. Not just, you know, I don't trust these wingle digit doohickeys, you know. That's not real magic. I don't trust it. You know, it doesn't come from the heart.
Well,
That's just
okay.
newfangled
show you
technology
something.
the kids are doing these days.
I can show you something.
go ahead, Soft. What do you have for the class?
I
The
take
big
off
one.
I take off the pot off my back, and I pluck a tiny leaf, and I hold it in my hand. Observe. And then I will cast thaumaturgy. And I will use the effect, you can cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for 1 minute, and I will change the color of the flames of the room to blue.
Very nice ambiance. I like the color scheme. You know, you work with a good color palette. Some of the dragons are looking around you and sort of nodding approvingly. You know, we like fire. We like working with fire. I don't know that you understood the assignment, honey. That's the problem. I love this. I love what you have going on here. Don't disrespect it. Don't misunderstand me. But I want something that I can go put on my pile, and I can lay on that pile and keep that relic for a good long time. You know, I like to hoard. It's a pastime. It's what we do here.
How are
I
you
love
with
seeing your
gardening?
powers, but you know, something shiny, something ancient.
I can give you a magic leaf.
I don't know that I'd keep it alive. You know, I might maybe some basil on top of the pastries if we're doing something Italian. But I don't know that I'm the gardening type. I have people for that. Well, I have dragons for that. You know.
Well, all I have is a boring shield for you then.
What kind of shield?
I just pull off the shield off the back that the plant was in front of. It's just a normal shield. I don't use it too much.
I don't believe that that's necessarily what she's asking for. I appreciate
I don't either, but that's all I have.
She starts passing it between all of her different hands, like turning it over between her front claws and her lower claws, sniffing it. You know, honey, I think I got about 40 of these. That's not, you know, I appreciate you. It's all right. You can come in here and have a snack. You can go lay in your wonderful dragon room. But, you know, if you want to know things, if you want to come away a bigger, smarter, what are you, like a big human?
An orc to be exact.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always get those wrong. Y'all look like humans to me, except the little furry one. I know those ones. Those are like the little. Yeah, I got you. So if you want to come away a big, strong orc who knows things, you're gonna have to, you know, bring something a little more valuable. It is
quite inconvenient that we did give away our useless magic items right before this. Alan's like whispering over to the other guys.
I think you guys might have me here.
Guys. I think I got something.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
the
Jeff,
little one.
This is showmanship. Okay, this is showmanship.
Okay.
We gotta build up to it. We gotta build up to it. All right,
I've got
save
that
it
covered.
for last. Save it for last. I'm just gonna do a little flourish, and then you come out, and then you just go bam, bam, bam.
So, we need to be mindful of pacing and tone because mine is somber and in the feels. So don't be we did the cool whimsical. It's hard to do anything somber with this music, but lead me up on that. This isn't a story. This is lore.
No,
you know what I'm feeling?
I'm hearing you, Jeff. See, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the classic build up and then switch. All right, we're gonna do the
Is that one of the things that you and Zoth talk about, those things that you do?
Sure.
Is it build up and switch code for something?
In this particular case, it's not. It can be, but not in this particular case.
Okay.
We're doing Clan Blue Jay?
No, it's not. Stop.
You talked
Zoth.
about cake for a very long time once, so sometimes I can't tell when you get into cake mode.
All right, listen, I'm gonna build it up, and then
Owen just has a hand on the
slay
forehead.
I forgot about that, didn't you?
You just slam them with the tone difference, okay?
They can't hear Fox and Jeb talking because I've got my hat off.
Yeah.
To the side. We're just both under my hat.
Totally muffles everything.
Clara,
totally.
actually, hold on 1 minute, honeys. You take your time. She flies over to a table in the back that's getting a little rowdy. You know, nothing crazy, but just a little rowdy. Excuse me, are we dragons here? Are we pulling it together? I need you boys to either take it to the pit or you need to calm down. You want to hear one of my one-hit wonder jokes? Are you ready for this? She leans right into the one who sort of seems to be starting things. She leans right into his face and she says, "Why do I like the bipedals? Because they come into my tavern and they buy what I peddle." And, you get a chuckle from a few other people around the room, but this great big dragon, she's like the size of his head, bursts into hysterical laughter and is just unable to continue his sort of mini argument he's starting. She looks over at the other one. You're next if you don't calm down. You got to take it to the pit, or you're gonna, or you can just take it outside and maybe walk home. Fly home, walk home, whatever your mode of travel, honey. I'm not judging. She flutters back over to you guys, and she continues kneading some of her dough on the countertop with her lower feet while she washes some dishes with her hands. All right, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of interruptions in here. You gotta mutter loud, honey. Can you mutter for me?
No, of course. See, real quick here, shadow work. We're gonna put on a show. I'm gonna pull out this looks like a normal hilt, right? looks almost
Sure,
like a
yes.
piece of waste.
Is
there's
that
nothing
something
to
you're
it.
giving me? It looks interesting.
Well,
I
this is
like
just
that.
a little taste, okay? This is just a little taste. And I just go ahead and I say, come forth! And it shoots out into a shadowy, gaseous form into a blade. Yeah?
I like
Why
what
are
I
you planning on
see.
giving that to her, man?
Yeah, no, this is just a little tease. This is a little tease. I'll
I
admit.
consider myself teased. I'm paying close attention. I got all my eyes and ears open.
Now, this is just one of the things that we have, and I believe our man, Jebediah here, will show you some of the more interesting items we have. I'll sheath that.
The fluffy one.
Clara, I thought he was going to do something impressive. I'm sorry.
I don't expect much from the tall folk, but you little guys know how to cook.
Gonna miss the
I
boat
respect that.
So
you're not giving me his
and
sword?
No.
As one who has famously missed a very important boat, like I can vouch for him on that. No, but I have something for you that I think is worth. Well, I'll leave its worth to you. And Jeb flips open the side of his coat, and something that he doesn't use very often. Actually, I don't think he's ever used. He pulls out a scabbard. The scabbard has been beaten and worn, not of his own use. And he says, this is the Sword of Circles. It's not a magic item, but it's dear to me in the weight and the lore of the man who wielded it before me. He was honestly not an incredible man in his own right, but I just set him up and then I knocked him down. But he was notable in he was the beginning of something great and terrible. He stumbled through life, tried to make his way, and in effect was one of the very first dominoes in a series of events that is going to bring about a change in the entire world. In a way, it all comes back, much like his name, Circles. It's going to come full circle. And I pull the sword out, and the sword is actually it's a short sword, so it's a couple feet long. So for Jeb, it looks like a two-handed longsword. But it looks like the blade has at one point in time been broken in half and reforged, so it's about half the size. But it's has a mastercraft of silver inlay, and I tell how it was reforged by the Drow of the Underdark, and reforged with the purpose and honor of the sacrifice that Circles gave for us in our quest of bringing magic back to our world.
Jeb man, I still have his bag, and I pull out the bag of Sacrium that we still have.
Yeah. This. So this is not only just a sword or an artifact, but this, in time, this is the beginning of a legend. This is the seed of a legend that in hundreds of years will be known as where magic returning to our world all started. And wouldn't that look good on your mantle?
I think it would look real good wrapped around my tail. My goodness, you spin a yarn. Very nice, little guy. I gotta say,
Well,
I do love the
Big things come in small packages.
They sure do. That's what I always say. That's why, the mole folk, they know how to make their pies. Because if you can make it small, you can make it big, honey. That's what they say around here. That's our slogan.
You have the key lime pies here?
Key lime pies. Why are they always asking me? The little guys come in and they ask about the key lime pies. Is that a thing? Is that something I gotta get into? We're more about meat pies around here, honey. I can do the fruity stuff. I can. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just curious. What is it? Why is the key lime the key, as they say?
So the thing is that the meat pie, it gets you right here. It's like, oh, it's so good. It gets you right here. Key lime pie, it gets you right here.
She stretches out her neck, which is, of course, disproportionately long, and she's like, here or here? Or here?
Like up behind the jaw.
I understand.
Like at the back and on the side of the tongue. Meat pies don't hit right there.
She sticks out her tongue, which is really long and flippity. Flippity is an important verb. I love the sword, honey. Are you sure you can part with this?
Sword.
Wow.
Well,
it seems very important.
If you think it's worth, a tale of your own, like the good tale, it's on the table. And he pushes it to the center of the table and says, "I'll leave that to you." You seem like an honest dealer of secrets.
Oh, yes, honey. We're, like I said, we're blunt here, but we're also sharp. You figure that one out. It's important. She wraps her tail around the hilt, and the sword is a little bit too big to just wield with her tail, so she also takes part of the hilt in one of her lower limbs and starts kind of doing her ninja moves in the air. Her other hands are still busy working on taverny things, and she's shouting over her shoulder at somebody else. No, honey, you've had 18 drinks. That's a new record. Your liver's gonna apologize later. I need you to settle it down. Okay, hold on. I'm working on something. Can you not see the blade? Hold on. A servant rushes over to help out with that situation.
Do we want to leave any merchandise here?
I don't believe that this situation is yet resolved. Zafka, let's wait for a moment.
She turns back to you. I love the lore. Lore is what I was going for, It's beautiful. It's tasty. I love it. Delicious. You know what we say around here? There's nothing more fulfilling than pie filling. But you know what? The sword comes close. That's our slogan. So I'm going to tell you a little, I've got I'm an honest dragon. But I know of some things going on around here that you might want to keep to yourself, okay? Just be cautious with it. So rumor has it, and this is just hearsay. It's just hearsay, that a certain fairy dragon generously loans one of her spare rooms to some musicians when they're in between employment. Do you understand me? So, being a respectable tavern-owning fairy dragon myself, if I were to put myself in the wings of such a person, I imagine it would be the third room on the left down this hallway here, with a hidden latch underneath the rug. But that's just speculation, I think they might have something interesting to talk to you about. They might just be people worth talking to. They're interesting people like you folks. You're very interesting, and interesting is the best compliment. We like interesting. We like fun. I like the quick wit. What can I say? You impressed me.
Yeah, good job, Jeb.
I mean, it was all because of your lead up. It was entirely because of your lead up.
I like the way you build them up, you tear them down. They learn better that way. We give tough love around here.
It's the breaking and healing that causes our bonds to keep us so close together.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think you were gonna go that deep with it. I know you said somber, but
well,
wow.
we greatly appreciate your words of wisdom and your tale and your service tonight. This has been a great respite.
Of course. Never let anybody tell you that we don't throw a good party around here. The little guy right there. Hey, I just want to tell you, I like the cut of your jeb. She flutters away. We love them quick jokes around here. And a ridiculously sized steak lands in front of each of you, and then a really beautiful pulled pork platter appears in front of Fox. So she's off doing her own thing now. I'm gonna turn it back to the DM.
Thank you so much. That was
It's been a
wonderful.
pleasure.
This was great.
That was wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Hats off.
It's all downhill from here, Josh.
Wasn't that so much better than
Yeah,
having
Josh,
me do
you
any
can't
DMing
top
for that interaction? I agree. She's way better than I am. I married up. And I know it. Oh. So what are we doing, friends?
Well, let's.
Eating.
I suggest that we enjoy this meal, and then I think it would be beneficial of us to visit the musicians.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to this jazz. I'm writing this one. Fox is writing this one down like jazz. Must learn. Some good stuff.
You play instruments, Fox?
I'm gonna learn how.
Which
Yo, Fox
I don't
multiclassing
know.
into Bard is like the ultimate. Like that would totally make so much sense.
I mean, he's over
You
there
should
using
do that.
like some sort of instrument made out of brass, and
That would be
that-
brass
Hey,
instruments.
Fox. Hey, Fox.
Wait,
And Joe's
wait,
just
wait.
like pulling on his shirt. Just like, Fox. And I reach into my bag and I hand him the horn that I bought at Gaim.
Oh,
Give
are
it
you
a two,
giving this to
man.
me?
Maybe you got some natural talent. Like, just like take a second and look at these guys and see what they're doing. Give it a second, absorb it. You know, shape change your lips to be however, you know, optimal or whatever you need to do. And give it a whack, man.
performance with disadvantage.
Well, actually,
Are you trained with an instrument?
I was about to ask. As one of my abilities as actor is to be able to copy people after listening for 1 minute. Well, that at least remove the disadvantage.
Sure. This is a great application of that skill. Yeah, take the disadvantage off and roll performance for me.
That's so good. He's already
I'm
built
here for
for
this
it.
so hard.
He's just built different.
I rolled great. Nobody tells you that I rolled bad, okay? I rolled great.
Okay. What'd you
I
roll?
always roll great. I rolled a net of 10.
So
I rolled
that's
the
perfect.
die of 3.
Well, a net of 10 is still perfectly average.
You know, for playing an instrument I've never played before,
All the other musicians in the room go silent as Fox picks the horn up to his lips in anticipation. There's a tuba wielding brass dragon watching. There's a white dragon with a clarinet. They all put their instruments down and attentively
like
stare
this.
towards Fox. Fox,
like
you
this.
rolled a 10, and in D&D rules, a 10 means that you have done exactly average, and I can think of no more average brass thing for you to play
So I've got my essay written.
than this advertisement that's playing right now as I try and pull up what you're playing. Give us a second here. You're like ready. You try and blow on it at first, nothing comes out. You're trying to think about what to do. You're trying to figure it out, and then finally you do. And that's all we can play before we get DMCA'd. But that's you play a little bit of Careless Whisper comes out of the horn. You're not even sure how you did it, but like the notes come out. You're as surprised as you are. There's a brief moment of silence as everyone in the room looks over towards you in shock, and then the dragons begin like roaring and stomping their draconic feet and clapping for you. And like one of them, like snorts big in the air, and a little floof of confetti comes out of his nose. Like little fire sparks come out. They're all like, "Yeah!" One of them buys you a drink. I'm a buy you a drink, man. What'll you be having? And he pulls up the menu, which is scratched on a little clay tablet at each table. And he, what do you be having? You have the Duchess, Maiden's Ribble, or Silver Snake?
Silver Snake!
Silver Snake it is. And they bring Clara Alberquerque flits back, quick as can be, her little hummingbird wings, flits back to the back of the room, comes back out with a barrel of silver snake and pours it into a margarita glass. It's just a normal sized margarita glass, but she serves dragons, so everything's in barrels. So she flits back out with a barrel of it, pours it into a thing, and you drink it. It's like a tequila based thing. It's kind of bitter, and you can see that there's like a little sliver of red dye in it, which is probably the snake that's in there. And then she like winks at you and flies away, puts the barrel away, and everyone goes back to what they're doing, and slowly the musicians kind of pick back up with their own music that they're playing and stuff.
You know, Jeb, I think I can, mind if I hold on to this for a bit, you know?
No, you can keep it, man. I tell you what, I bought a jug, a hammer, a horn, and cheese. And soap, and I have like the cheese and the horn have really hit big. Didn't even think anything could come out of that. So I don't know. Like I got high hopes for these other things.
Man, you always thinking 10 steps ahead, Jeb. Always
That's
thinking
true.
10 steps ahead.
Well, you know, I'm a
thinker.
chronology wizard. I'm playing 5D chess.
I never knew how to play chess in the first place.
Up with the great axe
I can teach you,
and
man.
just boom, slams it down.
Wait, am I
on
hearing
Yeah,
our
something
own
got
podcast?
stupid in
Oh,
Kenku.
okay.
Kenku freaked out for a second, so I just killed it.
That's funny.
Music's playing.
kill it
You're
with
loving
fire.
it. Yeah.
Owlin is gonna like enjoy his food. Give Fox a pat on the back. Invite him. In fact, actually, if you guys just expressed interest in chess, I would be greatly interested in playing chess with you all in our off time. I think that could be a great expenditure of our time. However, when you guys are ready, I am ready to talk to the musicians down the hall.
Are we headed down the hall to talk to some musicians?
Clara, can I get a to-go box? I ate like a quarter of my big steak.
Clara, from where she's like hovering over a table with 3 dragons at it, and she's like trying to feed each of them, and she's also like really excited about the sword you gave her, so she's like slicing stuff up with it, like cutting the labels off of packaging and stuff like that so she can give it to them and having a great time. She looks over at you and picks up a cardboard box in like her teeth and just flicks it over, and it spirals across the room in like a frisbee sort of thing, and you catch it.
Nice. And I'll put the three quarters of my steak pizza in the pizza box.
Should she be using that knife to cut near food products?
She's not cutting actual food with it.
Silver's
She's like removing like packaging and stuff.
Silver's
from the outside of things.
antimicrobial. It's fine. Like silver's. I mean, that's why they make silverware, like really good silverware. It's because it like self cleans.
I believe that's not as 100% correct as he claims. However, I don't believe that it's necessarily that big of a deal, and I also doubt that Clara understands how food safety works most likely, and I also understand that probably food safety for dragons is much different than food safety for us.
I'm just saying it had it in Circle's hands.
As she's flying by in the other direction, like just going about her errands, Clara just kind of swings by your table, hovers for just a half second, and explains, "Honey, most of us breathe fire. You know, when we put the food in, we burn all the germs off of it before we swallow." And then she flies off into the distance.
By the way, Fox, our town had way worse food practices than here.
Our town didn't have... The food wasn't managed. Never mind. The sacrium is what I'm worried about.
I didn't give her the pouch of sacrium.
Yeah,
we
but
still
it
have.
was Circle's sword.
I'm sure it'll work out okay.
Yeah, you're overthinking it. I've had this thing for a while, man. I've prestidigitated the fool out of it numerous titimes.
I mean, that's
It's not like I was cutting lines of sacrium with Circle's sword or anything like that. Although retrospectively, and he looks at the bag of sacrium and he's like,
all right. We
What
never
a
what
fun
happened
night,
last
Jeb.
time. We never
What a
what
fun-
happened last time.
Yeah, lots of cool things.
And you also did not
that
have
is
the skin color
objectively
back.
true.
Alan is pulling out
100%.
his like bar stool and like getting ready to walk down the hallway. Like he's just like ready.
Are you all following?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
we should
following,
all
and I'm
be.
gonna pull up beside Zoth and be like, Zoth, we should do some sacrium tonight.
Yeah, man, let's go.
Guys, I mean, if you're
I want to literally just move my eyeballs to another plane for like 15 minutes.
You head down the
At
hallway.
least include me, okay?
You head down the hallway to the indicated
grown-ups only.
room of the
Push.
inn. It is the, let's see, third room on the left down the hallway.
Right.
You make your way there, and each of the rooms has like a cool little image or something like on the door, like just like decor, you know, because again, dragons don't necessarily all read, so they're just using cool pictures so they can be like the one with the flower or whatever to tell you which room you're in. This one, it's a lute with a circle drawn around it and then a lightning bolt through it. Fox, you recognize the Thieves' Cant for Black Song, which is perhaps the most successful smuggling guild in the world of Urada. They are musicians, like their cover is as bards, like they really are musicians, but their trick is that because they're traveling musicians and minstrels, each of them partners up with a dragonelle, just like Yas sent to you, and they're able to smuggle, because it's a dragonelle, like you can put any size bag on a dragonelle's back and it will carry it with you, and so that's their cover, that's the way they operate.
Guys, I'm like crushing real hard right now, okay? You do not know who we're about to meet up with, okay?
You're right, we don't.
Listen, you see the symbol on this
musicians.
door, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go through the details and why it stands for it, but all I can tell you is that it stands for one of the most prestigious smuggling guilds known throughout all the land. And how badass is it? Is that their cover is as musicians. Like, they're literally the best smugglers and also the best performers.
That is
We're gonna pull out big boy.
quite interesting.
I mean,
Like, you don't understand, we're about to meet, like, people who work as a part of legends, man.
they can help us with our business.
Like,
They would certainly
You know
be
what?
ideal for transporting me.
and I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't put their hands on a certain rod-shaped object at some point or time.
Hands
That
on
would
their
be interesting to question.
discreetness.
Well, that might be part of the issue, so I guess we'll have to negotiate.
But yes,
I'm gonna go ahead and
I do agree with Garlo that transporting him through them could be quite helpful.
I'm gonna knock on the door in Thieves' Cant. As a polite, like, hello? We are new, but I know about you, and we just want to have a good deal.
I love the idea that Thieves' Cant you can also sing in.
You would know, Fox, that their call sign, the way that they indicate, like, we're going to talk about actual business and not musician-y business, is a hummed call and response tune. So if you hum something and they hum the response, then like everyone's on the same, you know, kind of on the same wavelength. From the inside, you hear them hum back, and then the door, click, unlocks.
Follow me, guys. Just let me do the talking.
You swing the door open. Inside the room is a normal tavern room. It has, this one is sized for normal humanoids, bipeds. So it's got a standard issue, kind of like queen size bed in one corner. There's a little closet area to the side. There's a nice rug on the floor. There's some decorative art hung on the walls. It looks like maybe some of the paintings have been done by some of the Wheatlings, who are kind of renowned for their art, especially nature landscapes and things like that. It's kind of recognizable as like generic hotel ambiance is what you're seeing in the room. However, sitting on the bed in front of you is a musician. It's human. He's got a lyre strung over his back, and he has a clarinet in his hands, like he's just been, kind of tweaking the instrument or modifying it in some way. He's got little tools out on the bed with him, I should say. And he looks up as you walk in, and he goes, "What kind of music can we play for you?" You recognize that this is a black song. This is one of the smugglers.
Right. Oh,
This jazz has been really nice.
we just need some. Sorry, I've never met one of your band before. As somewhat part of your profession, it's
it's perfectly normal for people to be starstruck by us.
it's a big honor. But yeah, no, we're actually we got a bit of a big ask. Everybody file in. I'm gonna close the door.
As you close the
I'm gonna
door,
post up at the door.
as you close the door and Jeb posts up, Jeb, the door locks of its own accord. You look back and see a really teeny cipher in the hand of the Black Song that he's just pushed to lock the door.
So, we actually need you to sing a tune about journeying a man to faraway lands.
I can carry a tune.
Can you carry a tune about this lad? And I point to Garlisle.
Garlisle's got his deep blue suit on. He nods respectfully, and as he walks forward, he explains, I need to make it west to the domain of Thrax and Howe, atop the ice mountain, where the Society of the Silver Sky make their guild hall. And the Black Song nods once. He pulls out a little rolled up parchment map, and he unfurls it, and he takes out a little ruler, all from the little tools that he was allegedly using to work on his clarinet. Picks up a teeny little ruler and starts kind of measuring spaces and taking some little calculations, grabs an astrolabe. I'm not sure why, they just have cool names, but he uses all these different cool navigation tools. And by the end of it, he has written out a little receipt, which he pulls up to his mouth, and he sniffs it once like he's checking something, and then he nods once and hands it to Fox. Fox, you can smell lemon juice on the parchment. It is otherwise blank. But the parchment has in it a price for transport. The transport's going to cost 400 wingle digits, and it has a delivery date, which is 3 days from now. And it has the means on it. It says Dragonelle, so you can basically figure out from it. And they're done as, in Thieves' Cant. So obviously, even if someone could see through the invisible ink, it would look like a ticket for a performance. It would just be like, oh, it's edgy, like it's going to a magic show, like a kind of a gimmick. Right. But in reality, it's your receipt saying it'll cost 400 wingle digits for the transport. And as you're looking at it, Garlo leans in to look at the price. And then he sits back up and whispers something to the Black Song that you can't hear. And the Black Song looks at him and his eyes widen and he goes, prove it. And Garlel nods once, takes a step back from him, and with visible effort and strain, you see the black scales of the dragon ripple up his arms and then disappear again back into his humanoid self. And the Black Song looks at him, and he looks back at you, and he takes the receipt and he halves the price so that it's 200 wingle digits for transport. And that's what so now he's just waiting for payment.
I'm gonna huddle with the group here. So it's 200 wingle digits. Are we all good on that? I think we just.
If this is the most secure way to transport Garlel, I believe that is the right call.
Trust me.
Did we ask them to do
Song?
Sacrium with us?
I don't believe that's relevant at this moment.
Do you think they would? Oh my goodness.
Hey, are they trustworthy? Like
Oh, hands down.
Can we bop them to check for
Fox,
Avalon?
the lore about Black Song is that a Black Song never sings. That's the thing they say about this guild.
Yeah. No, hands down.
Okay.
We can trust these people. All right, listen.
Can we just bop them to make sure?
Hey, yeah. Can you write a bop for everyone? Just like into the contract, even us and them. Just everybody gets a bop and make it like a deal sort of thing.
You mean wait? I would like to
deal.
separate. No, Zothkug, we should not bop him. But I believe that Jeb, you're speaking of a bop as in a song.
No, I'm talking about a bop on the head is the way that we end all of our contracts. Wink. That way we, can take care of any fish problems.
I don't know if that's relevant at this moment.
What do you mean? It's always relevant.
Not always.
To be fair, Garlisle just went out on a huge branch here and just
I
exposed himself.
agree. I trust Garlisle's judgment in this case.
All right, I'm gonna turn back around. Jeb, I got your back, Jeb. So, I'm gonna pull out. Hey, Jeb, can I have that 200 Wingles?
Yeah, here, there you go.
So here is payment. Now, just one quick sec. We've heard a tune, and it's been stuck in my head, and I think, I'm speaking for the rest of us, it's been stuck in all of our heads, about that tune that really gets into your head, and you just can't really get it out. And we just wanted to make sure that's not something that's stuck in your head, because, we'd all have, the same worry.
What are you talking about?
We're dealing with mind magic, and we want confirmation you haven't been compromised.
Compromised? Me? And he looks a little offended that you would even suggest such a thing.
I vouch for you. Just some of my companions, they don't know about you guys and how awesome y'all are.
As you're having this,
it has nothing to do with, sir, it has nothing to do with you. We've dealt with some very large organizations that are very powerful and very influential that have been under a magical influence.
Owen has his hand on his face.
Needs you? Oh. Your reputation precedes you, but our cargo is of utmost importance. Surely you understand.
Garlo leans into Owlin and he goes, I'm sure this is nothing we can't resolve with a good, firm handshake. And he raises his eyebrows a little bit.
Then, you know what? I think we just need the shake on it. Yes?
Yes, I guess I agree. Alan looks at Garlo a little bit confused.
Roll insight to see if you can pick up what he's putting down.
Okay, because Jacob surely isn't.
I just rolled performance for him, and he rolled really well. He rolled a 24.
Oh, geez. Alan didn't roll very well on insight, but let's see what his modifier is.
Well, his performance is good. He's making it easier
11.
for you. Yeah, he's making it easier
11.
for you. You are
Okay.
able to understand that he's saying if you squeeze the guy's hand hard enough, it would count as dealing damage to him.
Oh, interesting. Alan will then put forth his hand and for a handshake and say, disregard my companions here. We have full trust in your results and are ready to make a deal.
He puts out his hand and gives you a good firm shake.
Alan's going to give a very firm handshake.
Roll strength.
I keep rolling crappy. I got a 12.
He got a 2, so...
Okay.
You are confident that if there were anything to jar loose in his mind, you would have done so, and he seems the same. He's a little confused as to why you shook so hard, but he's he respects it. He's a smuggler. It's not like you're gonna hurt him.
Sure.
So he...
I hand over the Wingles.
He takes them and tosses them up in the air, and then pulls open the drawstring of his pouch and rolls dexterity to try and catch all 200 of them in a line vertically in the coin purse.
Whoa.
And he gets
It's
an
gonna
18.
ruin-
He pulls it off.
Okay, that's just gonna ruin Fox if he failed that.
No, he catches them all in the coin purse vertically, and then he just lets go of it, and the weight of the purse cinches the drawstring shut. He clips it back to his belt, and he goes, if you don't mind, I need to tune my instruments for another hour or two, and then I believe we'll be on our way.
If you want to celebrate, Zoth holds up the pouch with us.
Alan puts his hand in his face again.
No, I prefer to be of sober mind when I undertake my work. That's for after the performance
of
for
course.
me.
Fair.
Yeah, right. Soft. Come on.
Someone in our
Don't
line of
interrupt
work
the man.
who is willing to, compromise their sobriety in any sort of dangerous situation. They're just not cut out for the big leagues. And he sits back down on his bed, kind of having dismissed the group of you to leave.
Does Zothkug still have the bag of Sacrium held out?
No, you put it back in his pouch.
Wow.
What were you going to do, Alan?
Alan wanted to just forcefully swipe it because he didn't realize that Zothkug still had it, and he knows that that's not responsible.
Roll dex. Roll dex.
Okay.
Do I roll dex too?
16.
Sure. Roll dex. Yours is a dex save,
Okay.
Zoth, to try and stop him.
That's a 9.
So he successfully snatches the Sacrium away from you.
Alan snatches it and puts it in his pack and gives both Zothkug, it gives the rest of the entire group a stern look. Like, just like a dad is not proud of you, that is not what you do.
I love his picture of basically Tarzan, but with golden hair, like giving a stern look to the rest of the adventurers.
I'm like, come on.
What's wrong?
I would never compromise
We will
the
discuss
mission.
this later.
I say this out loud. I would never compromise the mission by not being sober during said mission. All right, let's just get out of here, guys. Let's just get out of here.
As you're at the door, you see the Black Song before you make your way out because the door is magically locked and it doesn't unlock quite yet. You look back and the Black Song has triggered a switch that was hidden in the closet, and the rug retracts, and underneath it a trap door opens, and Garlol jumps down and the Black Song follows him, and then it slides shut behind them as they make their way out. And you, I assume, make your way to your rooms for the evening, or do you have anything else to take care of?
We're sharing a big dragon-sized bed. Yeah,
That's right.
So
You all make your way to a
badass.
big dragon-sized bed, and as you lay down for the night, safe,
It's party
secure,
time.
protected. Oh, that's right. You want to party, right? Okay.
Dad is not proud of you.
Oh, that's right. And also, you have the Sacrium, Alan, so if you don't give it to him, it's not party time.
Alan is going to settle in for bed. And
Come on, Alan.
We've already dealt with Sacrium before. Let me explain to you why I am not going to let you have the Sacrium. Because we have already dealt with Sacrium before in very dangerous ways, and also in accidental ways that turned out to be quite humorous. After
We
a
don't
time.
have as much as they did, and
However, let me pause. However, there is a difference between smoking apple cats before going on a mission. That is a way of bonding as a team and having a great moment together.
So
or
is
even
this.
sharing a drink at the tavern. That is something that we have just done, and it's a great way to relax. This is all great. However, using something as dangerous as Sacrium, which we have seen the negative effects that can happen extremely easily on people, it is not responsible for us to do this at this point in our venture. If for some godforsaken reason, after we saved the world from these aboleths, you decided, oh, I would like to snort some Sacrium, that is up to your own accord. But until we do that, I will not be allowing this to be leaving this pouch, except for specific combat or survival-based circumstances.
2 wings that I can take it off of him without noticing.
But Alan, man, we
I don't
just went
take
through a
losing
whole
bets.
ordeal. We need something to take the edge off, and I can't smoke apple cats anymore.
Why can you not smoke apple cats anymore?
I promised, yeah.
Sorry, say it again,
Yeah, it's
Jeb.
not here. I much prefer you breaking your promise to than to getting your hands on this Sacrium.
No. You do not break a promise with yeah.
And don't break a promise with me that this is stupid.
I haven't made a promise to you.
I will say no more on the matter. And then Alan will take the pack and he'll use it as his pillow. Like, he's not setting it on the ground. He's using it as his pillow while he sleeps.
All right. Josh,
Do I need to get the silly music out?
purely for the sake of wanting to be able to say I've done it, I'm gonna try to roll to replace the Sacrium with Pello.
The rest of my dinner.
yeah. You know what? Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No.
I'll do it the rest of my dinner in a bag, and I'll do I want to do the Indiana Jones, but under Alan's head.
No, it's also, he's not just taking the bag of Sacrium and sleeping on it. It's his whole pack, which the bag of Sacrium is inside. Just so you guys know.
Even easier.
Well, I'm going to clear the tension pool if you're going to do something like that. Just so you know, Fox.
That's it has to happen sometimes. It's just
Okay.
you can't avoid it. You
Roll
can't
your
avoid
sleight
it.
of hand.
Grubbug granted a boon, just so we know. Chat granted a boon.
Hoo-hoo,
Use that boon, Fox.
Yeah, the question
yeah.
is which side. I'm gonna let Chat decide. Chat, who gets the boon?
Yeah.
Does
Who gets the
Owlin
boon?
or Fox get the boon in this case? Because we got a little PvP going on here.
So, while chat figures that out, I have rolled, and my roll
Fox
has
gets
been
the
made.
boon.
No!
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
I've been betrayed.
in the best way possible.
By
I'm gonna-
the best bestie.
I rolled a sleight of hand, and I got a 19 on that roll.
Okay. I won't make you roll it with disadvantage because of your boon. So, with your 19, I'm assuming Alan's passive perception is lower than 19, Alan?
Oh, yeah, let me look.
Although
12.
Alan, who just gave them a stern talking to, might be alert about this. Like, I just want to make sure I'm fair, because PvP is always
That's
something
fair.
that people
That's
don't care
fair.
about. So go ahead and roll an active perception. Because
Okay.
Alan just gave them, like, a talking to about this.
Yeah,
Doesn't Owlin have like a barbarian alert thing? Isn't that like a thing?
I
that
got
they
a
have?
15 on my roll, but that may be a higher level thing. I don't have that written down on my character sheet, at least.
Okay.
Let me. I mean, I can do a little research on 5e tools real quick, but like,
Yeah, not
Josh,
tonight,
go,
though.
go with. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
So 19 and a 15. Fox, you are able to successfully swipe the Sacrium. However, when you look in the Sacrium pouch, the complication I have rolled takes effect. This is literally on my table. I did not make it up for this scene.
Oh,
the complication
no.
we rolled is that an item in your inventory has spoiled. And so you open it up, and it's like so diluted with dirt that there's no usable Sacrium in it.
I show not a hint of that on my face.
You're just going to go snort dirt.
No, just. Zoth, I believe I
Let's go, Fox.
have now have a reason to go out into the room to practice my horn. Would you like to join me, Zoth, to practice my horn?
Absolutely, man.
I'm just gonna skedaddle.
Okay.
Just
With
gonna
Ellen's
skedaddle
whole
after that.
inventory?
No, just with the pouch. I just meant to take the pouch.
What do you do with the rest of his inventory?
It's a big
I
bed.
hide it under the bed.
Okay, sure. Whatever. All right, you make your way out of the room. What are you doing? You're driving here. This is not a scene
All
that
right.
I built.
The second Zoth is out of the room, I throw him the bag of Sacrium. I do not tell him. He will figure that out on his own.
I open the back up.
There's some powder in it. There's some dirt in there too, but it's hard to tell if it's diluted the whole way or not at first glance. Who am I talking about? You worship the weed god. You can tell that it's like impotent.
Well, Jeb, it seems like our adventures have spoiled this bag.
Oh no, what happened?
There's just a lot of dirt has gotten in it. Unless you can somehow separate it.
I wouldn't worry about it.
I cast mold earth to try to extract just the dirt from the pile.
Roll sleight of hand with disadvantage. Like, molding earth is one thing, but separating earth from earth, that is all loose earth, like that's something else.
Well, I guess my head thought was that if mold earth worked on just earth, I would just pull the earth. Like if there was like gems inside of it and I molded earth, like the gems would stay behind and I would just latch onto the earth. So I'm just going to try and pull out whatever mold earth can pull out. And if there is anything left over, then that's probably Sacrium, is what Jeb is thinking.
That's what he's thinking.
I think everything in the bag moves because Sacrium isn't a precious ore, it's like dust. Like it's literally like it's chalky dust is the description of what's in there. So I think that would fall under loose earth the same way gravel would. Like I think that's in the same vein as loose earth is.
Well, poop.
Hey, this is
Like
important.
the whole,
It's
it
at
just
home.
all comes out. Well,
Sacrium is dirt. And dirt don't hurt.
just put it back in. Well,
Well, we can keep it as a memento.
I mean, I really wanted my eyes onto another plane, but
Yeah.
Well,
Chat wants to know if you have to spell mold illicit drugs.
mold.
I mean, maybe if I combined shape water and mold earth, and
And on that note, tonight's episode of the Wingbatcher Tavern comes to a close.
Well, you and me, the end of the video, kind of awkward, kind of waiting for you to subscribe and all that. I'm just gonna head out.